Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week sports podcast where I'm your host, TJ, and I'm always accompanied with the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Welcome. For those of you who are new, we invite you to stick around a while. As I mentioned earlier, this is a twice-a-week sports podcast. We talk everything sports: NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, college athletics, European football, anything and everything sports we talk and cover on this show. Grump, man,
Yes.
a lot to talk about. I mean, we didn't have our normal show. What's going on with your hair, Grumpy?
I don't know. It's AJ'd. I got molescoed. My hair got molescoed today.
What do you mean your hair got molescoed today? What the hell?
A little crazy.
Oh man, there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and mention, right? Tua Tagovailoa, Grumpy, had, I would say, the best game he's ever had in his NFL career. He had a huge fourth quarter, and fans are the Tua versus Herbert discussion has been further invigorated after Tua's recent performance here. Tua's going to bring the Dolphins to the promised land, say the Miami fans, Grumpy. We're going to talk a little about that. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson. Again, struggled on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks in his return to Seattle, or his first game back, and struggled today against the Houston Texans. We're going to talk a little about tempers flaring between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Jacob deGrom continuing to write the freaking record books, Grumpy, and Trey Lance fracturing his ankle and going to have a season-ending injury with a broken ankle, Grump.
Yeah, I don't know what you want to hit on first. For me, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
Okay, thanks for that.
A lot of comebacks today in the NFL. The first games were kind of blah, but the second game is like, how many overtime games? The NFL just absolutely loves this, right? You talk about Tua Tagovailoa, okay? 6 touchdown passes today.
Yes.
I think that broke the team record by Bob Greasy or tied it. I don't quite remember. But they were down 35-14 in the fourth quarter. And I think the Ravens just took their foot off the gas, and you cannot afford to do that. Also, I don't know if you watched at the end of the game, and it's something that it's a home field advantage for Miami. They were just gassed.
You're talking about the Ravens, yeah.
They were gassed at the end, playing that heat in Miami. And, hey, use what you got, right?
Well, yes, but before we start talking about this, Grumpy, as you like to just jump into shit, if you're new to the channel, we, again, invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. Also, if you enjoy the content, the best way to let us know is by leaving a thumbs up. And also, maybe if you leave a thumbs up, it will fix Grumpy's hairdo, because he keeps playing with his hair. Grumpy, there's not much up there, Grump. What's the problem? Did you get a haircut today or something?
No, I told you I got the cowlick, and if I don't place it just right, it springs up.
Holy crap, dude. Come on.
It's a constant source of trouble for me. What can I tell you?
Yeah, what can I say?
How about that? Is it better? You can't see it now.
Yeah,
it's right there. See, it's right there.
Let's start off with some NFL action, Grump, because I mean, that's where it all is. Thursday night, and I guess because we didn't have our show Thursday, the Chiefs take down the Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert throws that pick 6 right at the end of the game as his tight end kind of gets tired, doesn't run the route he should, doesn't work back towards the ball. And the Chiefs have that 99 or 98-yard interception return for a touchdown. And the Chiefs take that, a sloppy game on Thursday evening, to say the least. I don't think Mahomes looked great. And, Herbert goes out there with a few fractured ribs and I think he had some cartilage fractured as well. Or
that's
who
what
knows?
It was the rib cartilage.
The rib cartilage, whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell he was in pain. He was really hurting out there, gutted it out. The aforementioned pick 6, I blame that on the coaching staff and the player. He was gassed. Gerald Everett was gassed. He just had 2 straight completions, wound up physical contact on both. A lot of guys to take him down. and he was gassed. He's went for the sideline. They just like keep running it, and he had nothing. He couldn't even drive back on the ball. That's why they kept picks up, and he couldn't even. The mouth guard was falling out of his mouth. He was totally gassed. What he should have done if he was that tired, just go down to the ground. You got the ball at the 2-yard line. Just go down to the ground. The referee's going to call timeout. Get everything sorted out. That's what they should have done. They rushed it, and it wound up costing them. I blame the coach. Brandon Staley does a lot of dumb shit like that. Think about last year against the Raiders, right?
Going for it there right at the end on what it was like, what is from their own, or I can't remember where the hell it was on field position.
They were on like 25, 26-yard line.
Yeah, they wound up going for it. It winds up costing them the game. And they again, like you talk about incompetence, coaches cannot win you games, but they certainly sure as hell can lose you games. Yep. And this is what you're talking about, Grumpy. Everett comes out, oh, I'm tired. Here's the other thing, too. You blame coach. I'm going to let you know something, Everett. Get your lazy ass in better shape. You have two catches, Grump, for what? A total of maybe like 30, 40 yards downfield. He takes a few hits.
No, 2 catches for 60 yards. Okay. And I'm telling you what, he took out the first one, which was a 15-yard gain or 12-yard gain. 3 guys took him down, drove him into the ground. The next one, he does that just fighting through everybody to get down to the 5. I'm sorry. He's not a little wide receiver. He's a big, physical tight end who's been blocking all day. He's mostly a blocking tight end. Okay? He was gassed. The coaching staff should have recognized that. Go down. Just go down. And this way you get to play, you don't have to do no huddle here. Why are you going no huddle?
They're hoping to catch him in a good person or in the personnel that they had. They were hoping to catch him off guard. And
look at him, he can't even hardly stand up.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't give a shit. Wide receivers, and again, they're much better shape than tight ends like that. They're asked to do different things. But how often do you see wide receiver run long route after long route after long route? Whether they're getting the ball or not, they still have to put the same exact effort level in running those routes. Yeah, it takes a little bit out of you getting hit. I understand it. Dude, it's 2 freaking catches. Let me ask you this. When you saw, again, good tight ends, when you see prime tight ends, and Everett he's not 30-something years old, Grump. He's in the prime of his NFL career. The fact that, again, he wears out after 2 receptions like that, I'm done.
But he's been blocking the whole drive.
Oh, you piece of shit. I'm telling you, dude, just lazy as all.
Couldn't even hold the mouth guard. Dude, the mouth guard fell out of his mouth. He was totally gassed.
Oh, my God. Here's the thing. If you're totally gassed, lay on the fucking field and don't get up.
That's what I just
lay
said.
down there. He understands how exhausted he is, right? If the coach is going to do it, lay your ass down on the field. Oh, I'm so tired. I can't get off the field. Oh. You know what? I'm sorry. You're never going to catch me ever making excuses because the guy's not conditioned enough to do his job. That shit freaking drives me nuts. You're never going to catch any freaking sympathy from me because you're not conditioned enough to play your position. None.
Okay.
0.
Okay. Let's say a big fat offensive lineman.
How often do the biggest, fattest bastards on the field? How often do those sons of bitches have to be like, "Oh, I'm so tired. Take me off. I hit the play. I can't do it."
Let's say they recovered 2 straight fumbles and ran them and got dragged down after gaining 65 yards. Let's say that happened. Do you think they would have been tapping out? He couldn't even.
No, offensive linemen do not tap out, Grumpy. Show me one freaking video of an offensive lineman going,
because they don't have to run.
Oh, okay. They don't have to run. Well, guess what? They're conditioned enough to do their job. Tight end, Everett, get your ass conditioned enough to do your freaking job and your duty.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong on that. You're wrong. Those the 2 previous plays were extremely physical plays. I wish they would show the
tight end. That's his job. That's his job, Grump. His job is to be physical. A tight end, the job of a tight end.
I saw Tyreek Hill today.
Gladiator, Grump.
I saw Tyreek Hill today. Tap out. Could not get. Just had to. If he wasn't staying on the sideline, who knows what might happen on a first down play where he's running around back and forth. Tyreek things. He only wound up gaining an extra 2 yards. But it's like they're gassed. It happens. It happens. The guy was totally gassed before that play. That's why it didn't work. Maybe Herbert should have said, or he should have said, well, it's in the no huddle. Like I said, it's on the coach again.
Everett had catch receptions for 7 yards and 26 yards, not 60 yards, Grumpy, on that. He caught no, stop. He caught a 7-yard pass and a 26-yard pass. You freaking lazy bastard. Get your ass in shape. 7-yard reception, 26-yard reception.
Yeah, but the first one,
if you can't get off the field and they're running no huddle, lay your ass on the ground. Lay your ass on the ground.
I wish they showed it.
Lay on the ground.
I wish you would have showed the 2 back-to-back plays.
What are you? Are you having a hard time breathing just thinking about how tough it was for Gerald Everett out there on the field?
No, I had a burp and I had to suck it in. Okay, that's what happened.
Okay, a 7-yard reception and a 26-yard reception, man.
Yeah, a real physical 7-yard reception. 3 guys to take him down.
I get it. If you're here's the thing. This is not Pop Warner. It's not high school. It's not like it's your first year in college, Grump. If you are out of gas, sit your ass on the field if you can't get off. Sit your ass on the field. You're right.
He should have done that. Instead,
you weren't a professional, man.
He was thinking more of team than of himself. He should have thought of himself at that point.
Look at how you try to phrase that as if hold on. Are you running Gerald Everett for president right now, Grumpy, the way you're trying to phrase this?
Gerald Everett has never been accused of being lazy or out of shape.
I could tell he's out of shape after 30 yards receiving. He's out.
Extremely physical plays, guys dragging him down. No problem there. No problem.
Okay. It's like saying a running back after rushing 2 balls. Coach. Hey, man. He goes ahead and every running back takes huge hits every single time they're running the football. Oh, I can only run 2 times and then I got to come off the field. No, they're better conditioned than Everett. I don't know, Grump. Here's the thing. Again,
how big is Gerald Everett? What's Gerald Everett's size?
You didn't make me pull up Jared Everett's size.
I want you to look at his size. Because he's predominantly a blocking tight end. Okay? Like one of those big, fat, useless offensive linemen, those fucking slugs who just stand on the line, maybe move 3 or 4 feet as guys walk around them.
6'3", 240 pounds. I'm sorry. Get your ass down there and bust your ass, Everett.
He did.
No freaking excuse. None.
He did.
No excuses, Grump, for me.
It's like a fullback. He's like a fullback out there.
He's 240 pounds at 6'3".
It's like a fullback.
Stop. Okay.
Fullbacks. Let's have a fullback do that. Like I said, you didn't show the 2 plays before, so you don't know the physical exertion because you're one of the fat lineman club just staying there. Oh, I moved 2 foot. I'm tired at the end of the game. I moved 2 foot left to the right.
We actually work. The linemen actually work hard, Grumpy. All these other skilled positions, they're over there just freaking pussyfooting around, Grumpy. Don't you worry about it. The offensive line and the defensive linemen are out there making the game entertaining for all the little fans who just. You know what it's like, Grumpy? The offensive and defensive linemen are like that hairspray you put in your hair. Today they couldn't go to work the same exact work ethic that they've had in the past. But man, oh man, is it tough. It's a tough ass for them, Grump.
It drives me crazy that see, I don't know how AJ Molesco could walk around with her hair the way it is because it drives me crazy to even be like this for 10 minutes. It really does.
I know you keep. Yeah, I don't look at you. I have no idea. The one time I switched over to see where we were comment wise, I was like, hold on a second, Grumpy's still playing with his hair. So that happened Thursday. Honestly, Thursday night games always consist of sloppy football, and it's just simply as you play a game on Sunday. You have a short schedule to turn around to game plan and make sure that you're ready to play your next opponent. And you don't have as much rest and you don't have as much time to recuperate for the next game. So usually you see a sloppier product on the field. And that's what we saw Thursday night. That Chargers team and that Chiefs team are both really good teams. I'll wind up having to eat crow on it. Hot take I had going into this year was Chiefs were not going to make the playoffs because that's such a tough division. Well, they're in the driver's seat. I mean, they're looking great. They're firing on all cylinders to start this season. Yeah.
They look like they're the 2 best teams in the West. That's for certain.
Absolutely. B-Bean saying first. What's up, B-Bean? How are you? Stephen S. says here, it's prime time football tonight. We're going bear hunting. Let's go. Talking about the Packers against the Bears. Also, hope you gents are doing well. I got a foul ball today at the Milwaukee Milkman game. Sadly, they lost, though. Hey, you got a foul ball and a little souvenir to go home with, though, Stevens. That's always a plus.
What is the logo of the Milwaukee Milkmen? I mean, are they just guys who walk around dressed in white uniforms, a little white cap with a little container that has milk in it. Like, I remember when I was a kid, we used to have milk delivered. It was always like on the side of the house, but I never saw the guy because he came really early. But I know I'd lift up that little silver tin, and there'd be a couple of gallons of milk or whatever the heck the size was back then. And I mean, we used to have milk delivered. Now, I mean, that's kind of passe, isn't it? How many milkmen are there in this country?
Hold on, Grumpy. Are you that out of touch? Of course, there's not milkmen in the United States anymore. Come on, Grumpy.
Maybe there are in some places.
You think
But
there are
there
people who
aren't.
still deliver milk to houses?
I don't know if it isn't. Maybe the Milwaukee Milkmen need to change their names.
Honestly, I think that's such a low execution of a logo. I wish it would be like a milkman or something crazy like that.
It almost looks like, well, that's what
It's wearing a bow
milkmen
tie.
kind of
Just
look
a
like.
guy
The
wearing
little hats. Maybe it almost looks like Milky Way bar, doesn't it? That logo, a little bit like Milky Way.
No, it does not. It does not look like a Milky Way bar, you grump.
Well, just look how it says milk. It's kind of like the little Milky Way logo.
No.
That's a pretty lame logo. Sorry, Steven. Pretty lame.
I was about to say they could do a lot more with the Milwaukee Milkmen, just with the way that sounds.
I don't know how much merch they sell, but I'll bet it's not a whole lot.
I hope it's a little different than what they got. Anthony R says Jets, Jets. The Jets with the win today, too.
Another game where the Jets are getting killed, steamrolled by Cleveland, and they come all the way back, recover an onside kick.
Yes.
I mean, throw 2 touchdowns. Joe Flacco looks like he did in whenever the heck they won the Super Bowl for the Ravens.
2008?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Well, no, it was after 08, but still.
Yeah. But it's like, wow. I couldn't believe the Jets came back. Garrett Wilson, huge day today. Good for the Jets.
Now, did you happen to see what Garrett Wilson got involved with later on?
No, it's probably something
he
did
scored.
Something
now, again, remember, just to paint the picture. What are you, Grumpy? There's Brown. What game are you watching right now, Grumpy?
I'm not watching anything. Just continue, please.
Motherfucker. Grumpy, don't make me go, turn it, fucking TV.
Oh, my God, will you please just go?
Oh, man. What can I say? I want your attention. Can I get your attention for an hour? Just a solid hour, Grumpy, of your attention. Undivided attention for you.
You realize I'm not the only person who lives in this house, right?
Oh.
You are aware of that, right?
What are you watching over there? Oh, are you telling me the warden's the one who's distracting you, Grumpy?
Maybe someone just happened to come downstairs and I happened to glance over. That's a possibility too, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to let you watch this.
Oh, no. Was he involved with the fans? Please tell me no.
Yes, he was involved with the fans, and you were aware, right? Cleveland in Ohio. Garrett Wilson played for Ohio State. I don't know. His return back to his college stomping grounds, the areas of college stomping grounds, Grumpy. Well, I just don't understand a rookie in the league having such animosity towards the fans. I'll go ahead and put it on there. Talking shit to the fan. Players talking shit to the fans. I'm like, man, oh, man. Like, you'll see it occasionally, right? You talk about Aaron Rodgers, where he's like, I own you. I can't remember who the hell that was. He was talking
Chicago.
to Bear fans. Yeah, talking to Bear fans. And it's just like, okay, you have many, many years of dominating a team, which is your rival. Okay, I can understand that a little more. Second game in the freaking NFL, and here you are starting shit with fans.
That's echoing.
Do you see he's yelling at this kid right here with the Nick Chubb jersey on? That's the shit that drives me nuts.
It's too much echo. Can't hear anything. I just see him getting in their face, though. Yes.
Hold on. Can anybody else hear, or is Grumpy the one who's got
echo? It's echo. It's echo.
Okay, let me try this here, Grumpy. Jesus H. Was that better for you, Grump? You really can't hear anything. You just freaking yell. Was that Grump?
No, it's echo. It's like, no, oh. It's echo.
Okay, what do you expect? It's filmed from a guy's freaking phone in the stands. I'm just saying.
It's not the phone in the stands. It's your hardware or your software, because it always happens.
It's not my issue, Grump. You know whose issue it is? Your issue.
Okay,
it's your issue, Grump.
I want everyone to tell me who, if they hear it as echoing as I do.
Or is it Grumpy just inability to keep up with today's electronic?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
advances?
Maybe that's it.
Here's the thing. We've been late before on shows because Grumpy forgot. He's like, I don't know, my mic's not working. And I'm like, have you slipped your mic on? Oh, no, that was the problem. Or he has his shit plugged in the wrong spot. Okay? So don't act like it's not possible that you made a mistake, Grumpy, or something's wrong on your computer. Okay?
I got bed sores on my ass because TJ's late to every podcast. Sitting here for days until he gets on finally.
Oh, that's true. That's true, Grumpy. That's true. But yeah, let's continue on here, Grump. Gotta say, Andrew L said, what a day of football for certain it was. And another shitty year, another shitty Michigan State University defense.
Man, I'll tell you what. That was I'm very okay. I didn't know they could possibly lose to Washington.
It's a bad loss to Washington, man.
Yeah.
Washington in the Pac-12, they're not a great team. They've had good recruiting classes in the past, but they're not great. The Pac-12 is not a good conference.
Okay.
It's a bad loss.
Can I just stop you? You keep on saying that, but they keep on winning games against these other conferences.
The Pac-12?
Yeah.
What? Hold on. What Pac-12 teams have been beating teams out of their conference?
Oregon.
Who did Oregon beat?
USC.
Hold on. No. No, Grumpy. Utah lost. Hold on. Utah lost to Florida, and Oregon beat BYU. BYU's in the Pac-12 there, buddy.
Is BYU in Pac-12 right now? I didn't think they were yet.
I believe they are. Give me a sec here, Grump. They're independent. I'm sorry. They're independent, so they don't have a conference.
Kind of like Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's not the Notre Dame. Sure, maybe you say just like Notre Dame because they play a lot of those teams out west. Here's the thing, because BYU always plays Utah. They always play a few of those West Coast teams. I don't know, Grump. The Pac-12 is not a good conference for football.
USC is good though. I'll tell you that much.
Who has USC played this year?
Fresno
Can you tell me?
Fresno State.
Oh, Fresno State. Okay.
Rice.
Oh, the mighty Rice. Okay. Who else?
They were able to eat a well-nutritioned diet of feasting on rice. And I don't know who they beat the second week. Somebody else.
Okay. So all Powder Puff U teams.
Fresno State's not a Powder Puff team.
They're not even a Power 5. They're not even a Power 5 team, Grump. They play a whole bunch of non-Power 5 teams out of conference. And here's the thing, right? USC's doing this little bait and switch. It's the same thing that Wisconsin does. They play in the poor side of the conference. It's the same thing that a lot of these teams do. They go ahead, oh, we've got a great regular season record. Oh, we're so fantastic. But anytime they run across any sort of adversity or any sort of tough team, they get freaking trounced. It's because they play nobody in the regular season, Grump. They play nobody before the college football playoffs. Always.
Number 7 in the country.
That's it.
USC.
Yeah, it's called all based off of prior hype. They ain't not very good, Grumpy.
They're blowing teams out every week.
Who are they playing? It's like saying, holy shit, we're blowing the hell out of Georgia Southern. Oh, yeah. We're beating teams like Austin P. Oh, yeah. We're beating teams like Rhode Island and Western Michigan. Dude, they're freaking bottom of the barrel They're bottom of the barrel teams, Grump.
But they're blowing them out where you see other teams in the top 25 hanging on against these lower level teams. Arkansas, for instance.
Arkansas sucks. Arkansas's terrible. Arkansas's terrible. They barely beat a Missouri State team at home. Guess what? They're not good.
They're top 20, though.
They're another team that made it into the top 25 based off of last year's performance. Last year with Treylon Burks, last year that team was good. The defense was good and solid. This year they haven't been great. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Remember 2 weeks ago, I said it's week 1. Pump the brakes. Whenever it was ripping me because I was saying Ohio State, hey, it's a good win beating Notre Dame, right? They came out yesterday.
Nobody said it wasn't a good win.
70 freaking 7 points on the board. 77. Oh, they're not scoring. They're no good. I don't even know who the hell it was. Some clown. And I'm like,
hold on. Nobody said that. Who are you making up as these
You
characters?
were.
They're not good. No,
You
what
were.
I said was Notre Dame impressed me with how great they looked. I said I was underwhelmed with what I saw from Ohio State, and I was impressed with what I saw with Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame lost by double digits. And I just said, pump the brakes. It's week 1.
They lost by what, 10 or 11 points? I love how you say
11
double
points.
digits. Yeah, it's 11 points. Okay, they lost by 11 points. Let's get
I'm-
specific with it. 11
And
points.
I just, all I said was, Ohio State's good. They're going to be I think they're going to be one of the Final Four teams this year.
I thought they were a team the favorite to win. I don't have them at that right now. Before the season started, I really thought they were the favorite to win the national championship. I'm not sure I put them in that spot.
They were ranked 2nd in the country behind Alabama.
Yeah, no longer are they ranked there.
Yeah, what are they, 3rd?
Okay. Because the way some of these teams have been playing, you look at the way the Georgia Bulldogs have been playing, holy shit, man, are they the real deal?
Who have they played? Who have they played?
SEC caliber teams. Not Powder Puff you at Fresno freaking State or freaking Stanford. Okay, Grumpy? They play SEC schools, brother. SEC.
Who have they played? And what did I say? You really don't know the teams till 4 or 5 weeks in the season. That's what I said. You don't know who's who.
Oregon. They played Oregon. Top 25 Oregon in that same Pac-12 conference. Beat them 49-3.
Oregon sucks.
49-3.
So
Oregon
that's not a great
BYU. Well, hey, guess what? They beat the second best team in the Pac-12, Grumpy. I'm telling you, the Pac-12 blows. They blow. They're a bad conference for football. There's nothing against. Hey, man, they're good basketball. Not a good conference for football. What's wrong with that statement?
Okay.
You disagree?
Okay. So not a good win because they beat a lower conference team.
They beat them 49-3. They beat a Power 5 team.
Doesn't matter.
They beat a top 25 team 49-3.
Doesn't matter.
They have a tougher schedule already. They've played a tougher schedule than what USC is going to play this year.
So who did they beat the second week?
USC doesn't even have Oregon on the docket.
Who did Georgia beat the second week?
Samford.
Do
you want to take a guess what that score was?
Samford.
33-0.
That should have been 155-0. That's what it should have been. Samford, the freaking worst school in the history of college athletics. And who did they beat?
Damn, Grumpy. Samford, they did beat Samford's 2-1, Grumpy, this year.
Samford. It's not Stanford. Samford.
I said Samford. Can you not hear?
Well, I just want to make sure because USC beat Stanford. That was the other team.
Trust me, I understand USC beat Stanford. Samford is who Georgia beat, Grumpy.
Okay, a substandard Division II school, whatever they are.
Okay, they're Division I AA school. They're beating 33-0. And
Bottom
then this week they beat South Carolina 48-7 at South Carolina.
Another suck squad.
Again, the SEC teams are better than the Pac-12 teams,
I never said they weren't.
Okay, when you're beating a Pac-12 team, one of the better Pac-12 teams, 49-3 at a neutral site game.
Week 1. It's week 1.
Oh, okay, that one didn't count. Then
it was
week 1. Don't worry, that one didn't count. It's week 1. Week 1 didn't count. Week 1 doesn't count for the schedules, guys. It's just it's like an inter squad scrimmage. Week 1, it doesn't count. Don't worry about it. It's week 1. Week 1. Everybody week 1 in the NFL doesn't count. Don't worry about it.
Dealing with the moron. That's what it is.
Don't worry about it.
Week 1. You said that there was a neutral site game. It was in the Georgia Dome.
Hey.
Okay? They don't play their games in the Georgia Dome, but guess what? That's a home game for Georgia.
It was a neutral site game. It was a Mercedes-Benz Stadium, first off. Okay?
That's in Atlanta, Georgia.
It was a neutral site game, Grumpy.
Whatever.
Perhaps it was closer to one team than the other. Maybe it was almost like it was a home game.
Maybe it was right next door to their campus.
Yeah, maybe.
The guys had to travel cross country. That was a home
neutral site game.
Don't say it's a neutral site game. It was not.
It was a neutral site game. Come on.
You are pathetic.
Oh, man. It's like last year, when Clemson played Georgia at the beginning of the year at Bank of America Stadium, wherever the hell that is in Carolina, right? That's technically
Charlotte, North Carolina is where
Charlotte, North Carolina. That's technically closer to Clemson than it is Georgia. It's still a neutral site game, though.
Okay. You realize that that South Carolina and North Carolina are not even the same state, first of all.
How far away is Charlotte? Hold on.
That much closer.
How far away is Charlotte from the South Carolina border?
An hour.
No. It's 14 miles away.
What? I'm saying where Clemson is.
South Carolina border.
Where Clemson is.
That's different. I said,
that's what I'm talking about.
They're different states. I'm just
They
saying
are different
it's close
states.
to the South Carolina border is
They
what I'm
are
saying
different
to you, Brom.
states. They're different states. But here's the thing. It's an hour and a half for Clemson. And Georgia's what? 3 hours?
3.5. Okay. Everybody's always one team's
It's
gonna have
not
to
like
drive further than the other.
here's
Is
the
my
thing.
point.
Here's the thing. Georgia, it's not like 15 minutes down the street, and Oregon is a 3-hour plane ride
You know
with
what
connections.
You know what I can't wait
that.
for is USC, just a typical Lincoln Riley fashion. USC will just choke games away. That program is not a freaking revamped program. They beat the miserable Stanford Cardinals 41-28 this year, right? Maybe you might want to pump the brakes a bit. You look at their schedule, the only ranked team they've got lined up to play this year is Utah. Okay. In the last game of the year, they play Notre Dame. They play no one, the USC Trojans. USC is a freaking shell of what they used to be, and that Pac-12 is the worst division in the Power Five out of the Power Five conferences. It's not even close.
I never said USC is the best team in the country. All I said was, if you remember, going back to when Lincoln Riley took over, I said he's going to have them in the championship tournament within 2 years. 2 years. Remember when I said that? 2 years, I said. I was wrong. Right. It's going to be this year because they're going to be undefeated, rolling into the Final Four, and probably losing the first round.
Here's the thing. Even if USC was undefeated, they don't deserve a chance at the national championship.
Power 5 conference, undefeated.
Hold on.
Conference champion.
How many ranked teams will you have beaten? Maybe Utah. Right? That's the only ranked team right now on the docket they play, and maybe a Pac-12 championship game. You play 2 ranked teams your entire season. Okay, Grump.
Maybe other teams get ranked during the season. I mean, teams come in and out of the rankings all the time,
Because the Pac-12 is rife with teams that are very talented, like Oregon State. Yeah, I forgot those Oregon State Beavers. Better watch out for the Beavers, Grump. And the Arizona State Sun Devils are off to such a great start that they fire Herm Edwards. Yeah, okay. They've got a really tough conference, Grump. Don't get me freaking started.
Very tough.
Don't get me started, Grumpy, with your ass. You're gonna drive me up a freaking.
A little agitated. Why are you so angry today? You seem very angry.
Your love, here it is. I'm even support my Pitt Panthers. Your blind love for the USC Trojans drives me.
Okay, I'm not a fan of the USC Trojans. All I said was that Lincoln Riley, and I told you I was going to say it every week because when it happened, because you scoffed at me like you continue to do. All I said was within 2 years, they're going to be in the Final Four. That's what I said.
Blind love, Grumpy. That's what it is. Blind love. Anthony R says, by the way, Trey Lance for San Francisco is horrible. I'm sorry he got hurt, but he's going to be a big bust for the 49ers.
Division I AA quarterback who played, one game in 19 months before coming out. And you know what? Those certain coaches think that they can take horse shit and shape it into an NFL quarterback. It's not the case. And I'm not saying that it's over for this kid. It's still early, but he has a big learning curve, He did not look okay. For a guy that had just sat pretty much on the sidelines for an entire NFL season, he's underwhelming from what I saw. Right. And again, it's going to take a while for you to get back into play. He still saw some reps. He saw some action, but Jesus, man, I was expecting a guy like that to come in to be on his freaking on cue. I mean, dotting his I's and crossing his T's. And I'm talking about looking like there wasn't much of a learning curve. I don't think he's much of a quarterback. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is anything of a quarterback. It's like you had options there for the 49ers. They trade up and they pick the wrong guy. And you think to yourself, I'm like, oh, man. I mean, he's maybe a better option than Jimmy G, but Jimmy G sucks something fierce. And this kid, it's still early yet to say he's awful, but Jimmy G is just a freaking game manager at best. That's right. He's a guy who can win you a lot of regular season games, but in the big moment, he's not going to be a guy who's going to put you over the hump. I mean, that's just what he is. That being said, Tom Brady wanted to go to San Francisco. John Lynch wanted him in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan did not want him because supposedly Brady met with them and he said, well, this is what we do. We run dep. And he's like, what happens when you get up 28-3? And that pissed off Shanahan, and that was the end of Brady going there. If Brady had been the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers the last 2 years, they win Super Bowls both years.
Oh, my God. Why are you on this shit again?
Because it's true.
Oh, freaking stop. Freaking stop. Anthony R. says, I think Tua is for real. He's got so many weapons.
He looked like
still
dog
better
shit.
than Tua, though. No debate. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Tua, right? Because this is the best he's ever performed in a Dolphins uniform. This is the best start, the best game he's ever had in the NFL. And it was a great fourth quarter, an unbelievable fourth quarter where he took control. And again, not all quarterbacks have the ability to do that, number one, sporadically or even on a consistent basis. This is his first time. This is his little emergence. Hey, here I am. Grump, what did you think about today's performance from Tua?
I thought Baltimore was totally gassed at the end. Totally gassed. You have a team who comes down from up north playing in that heat in Miami at the end of the year and even at the beginning of the year. It's really, really tough for them to hang. That's why you see Miami getting a lot of wins at the end of the year and the beginning of the year, because they've been training in the Miami weather. Baltimore has not. That said, I thought Tua looked pretty good today. He looked like dog shit last week against New England. He looked like crap. He still has the same issues that he has, but those wide receivers are tremendous.
Just so you know, it was only about 84 degrees today in Miami.
But what was the humidity? It's the
humidity, I'm sure, was high, if I'm just going on a limb.
I mean, that's not the way it is in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay? I mean, like I said, for me, Mike McDaniels is a really good coach. And look at that right there. Little wide receiver screen to Waddle. Waddle did everything. He's got talent. But
he's got two top 15. He's got one receiver who's a top 5 wideout in Tyreek Hill. And he's got one receiver in Waddle who's a guy who's probably a top 15, top 20 wideout. He's got great weapons. There is no doubt about it. A 2-man rush. Okay, I just want you to look at this. A 2-man rush and a hell of a catch by the wide receiver. And again, Tua deserves credit. That's the best we've seen Tua perform. 2-man rush.
Yeah, he's got
Let me ask you this.
Look at the field.
As a Baltimore defense, I'm trying to play prevent. It's 3rd and 13, and you send a 2-man rush. Is this Tua is unbelievably talented, or is this I'm Baltimore and I shot myself in the foot with bad play calls? I don't know. 2-man rush on 3rd and 13. You ask me. Five guys back there. He's got all the time in the pocket, and that's a hell of a catch.
Yep.
By Guzlecki. Hell of a catch, and he's doing a little gritty there. I mean, it's a good throw. Yeah, it's a good throw. It's a good catch right there on the goal line. Ooh, nice little job. Nice little spin out. And he hits it open wide out. I mean, it's a good play, buying time.
Right. And that's what
look at this. I want you to take a look. It's 35-14. Miami is down. Just again, look at what Miami's doing, or look at what Baltimore's defense is doing every single time they get scored on. 3-man rush. 2-man rush, 3-man rush. Let's just play a game. What type of rush and what type of blitz package do they go ahead and send to put pressure into his face? Or do they give a quarterback all the freaking time back there in the world like it's a 7-on-7, right? Here's the thing. Tua had a good game. I just want you to take it with a grain of salt, Miami fans. That's right. If Alexander's watching, Alexander, I'm talking to you, and Joseph, I'm talking to all the Miami fans. Take it with a grain of salt. It's like he's playing 7-on-7 out there because he had all the time in the world. That's not normal scenarios. And I'll tell you one thing. That's a mistake Baltimore wouldn't want to make again. But a 3-man rush.
Yeah, and here the guy comes through. Nice shifty maneuverability.
Exactly. He does a good job of buying time. Great job.
That's when the coverage breaks down, right? To me, that's a good play for Tua. So, but like I said,
here we go. We're getting a little rush. 5-guy rush. Wide open. Underthrown.
Wide open.
Underthrown. Wide open.
Of course, he can't reach. He can't
it's
reach.
It's not even. I mean, like, here it is. He's throwing. It's like, hey, oh my God.
That's as far as he can throw it.
Hill is so wide open. It's not even funny. And again, it's underthrown to where if a guy's closer, that's picked. He's threw 2 picks this game anyway. I think he threw 2 picks? He's thrown 3 picks already this year. Yeah. I mean, all right. So again, you got to threw for 6 touchdowns. Wow. We got to bump the brakes a bit.
the week earlier, New England pressured him, and he just throws the ball up for grabs. Again, wide open.
Wide
Blown
open
coverage.
and a wide receiver runs. Like, okay, I'm glad he's hitting wide open wideouts.
Yeah.
He should be doing that. If he's not, you've got problems.
But let's say something about the Miami front office, right? They, believe me, they know the limitations of Tua Tagovailoa.
For certain they do.
So what do? They draft Jalen Waddle. They show that kid's the real deal. And you go out and you get Tyreek Hill. They're saying, okay, we know he's got limitations, but we're going to load up the weapons around him where even he can succeed. And that's what you're seeing right now. Good for them. Smart move by Miami picking top Tyreek Hill, even with all the draft picks they gave up. But still, let's give credit where credit's due. They're 2-0. They're 2-0. And Jalen Waddle is a real deal.
Yeah, they've got great weapons. Baltimore sending 3 and 4 guy blitz and sometimes 2-man blitzes. You kind of ask for it at that point. When you play that prevent style, you're going to lose games. It's as simple as that. Tua threw the ball hard, hit the open guy. I still don't think he's got a strong arm. I still think when you put pressure in his face, he's not fantastic. I still think he makes he consistently has inaccurate throws.
I just want to say one thing. If I have to hear anyone else say, he's a quarterback who struggles with pressure in his face, guess what?
Every quarterback does.
Every single quarterback struggles with pressure in his face. It always bothers me when people say that about Brady. Well, if you put pressure in his face, he's nowhere near as good. Well, what quarterback is good with somebody right in his face? Nobody.
Yep.
Mahomes isn't. Mahomes throws the ball up for grabs all the time when pressure comes up the middle on him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, when you're looking at it today in the fourth quarter, the numbers are unreal. 199 passing yards in 4 touchdowns. There was some broken coverage in there, but this was the best game he has played in his NFL career. And he didn't start off well. The first half, he was shit, garbage. Second half, and specifically in the fourth quarter, he turned it on.
Hey, that's why they play.
This is a game that makes him and allows him to grow in his confidence as a professional and allows him to take steps forward and improve. Who knows? I'd say probably not, but there is a possibility.
Okay. That's why they play 4 quarters, though, right? And that's what you see. Particularly down in Miami or in Florida in particular in the fourth quarters, others teams early in the year and at the end of the year, they wear out because they're not used to those conditions. That's what I thought you saw today. I thought that Harbaugh took his foot off the gas offensively, up 21 points in the fourth quarter, could not get it back until the end. And, that's what happened. You got to step on these guys' throats the whole way through. You just
the Ravens without strong running back presence are not great. I think that it really hurts them that you still have guys like Dobbins out and injured. Like Kenyon Drake is not a J.K. Dobbins. And you look at that and you think to yourself, last year that Baltimore team struggled, right? They never have had great receiving weapons for Lamar Jackson, but they've had a strong running core. And without Dobbins, they're still struggling, just like they did last year, to run the football. That's simple. Lamar Jackson can make things happen, but it's not like, here we go, I can give it to a freaking workhorse that's going to pound the defense and wear them out. And we're going to drive the ball freaking 70 yards downfield in the fourth quarter and eat 6 minutes or 8 minutes off the clock. There is none of that, and there was none of that today.
Yeah, I thought Lamar Jackson was really good today, particularly the first 3 quarters. But they don't have a whole lot of weapons. They just don't. You mentioned the running back situation, and this is predominantly a running team, a rushing team.
Absolutely are.
And they don't have anyone now who's a consistent threat. Dobbins, even when he does come back, he's still only a year removed from ACL surgery. That's why he was on the PUP list, because he's not ready yet. Gus Edwards also out. Those were the top 2 backs going into last season. And you're right, Kenyon Drake, not the answer. I think they have Latavius Murray still, not the answer. These guys are not the answer. So Lamar Jackson has to do it all. He's got Mark Andrews as a wide receiver. Duvernay had a great week last week, not so much this week. Rashad Bateman, kind of is what he is, catches 1 big touchdown a week. But they need somebody consistent out there, more than just Andrews.
Okay. So today, Lamar Jackson, 21 for 29, 318 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and he rushed 9 times, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Their team comprised of offense outside of Lamar Jackson. They had an additional 16 carries, Grump, and it totaled 36 yards. 36 yards on 16 carries. The 16 times that Lamar Jackson did not have an exact impact on the play, 36 total yards.
Or a direct impact, or not part of the play.
That's what I said, not a direct impact on play. So not either running or not either throwing the football. 16 plays, 36 yards.
His value just goes up and up.
Yep, they're gonna be paying through the teeth
And he's
Lamar Jackson.
He's gonna get that guaranteed money he's looking for.
Hell,
the Ravens want to kind of lowball him on that. Sorry, that's not happening.
But it was a great game by Tua. A great game. And that Ravens defense is a good defense. I think that they struggled last year due to injury. They made some good additions to the defense this season. They struggled today. I think the play calling was miserable at best by the Baltimore Ravens.
All out of shape. They're all out of shape. They're all out of shape. All those fat linemen all out of shape. Couldn't get the job done. They need to get in better shape. That's why it didn't happen.
When you're sending two down linemen against 5 offensive linemen, I don't give a shit how good you are. Unless you got 2 or 3 Aaron Donalds on the rush, you're not getting to the quarterback.
Aaron Donald, out of gas.
Aaron Donald, don't you ever speak poorly of the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Donald, Grumpy. Don't you speak poorly of him, okay? Anyway, Andrew L. says, I got screwed by 2 injuries this week, and Jerry Jeudy and James Conner.
It happens. That's really why I hate fantasy football, to be honest with you. It's injuries determine who wins, really, for the most part. Scheme.
Frank Hay said, what an atmosphere at the Giants game today. I was so to be there. I was so hyped to be there, maybe, and the defense looks good. The defense is good, much improved off of last year. They do not have a quarterback, and they played the Panthers, who suck.
Yeah, I was going to say they played Carolina. So the Panthers are not great.
How long before you think Matt Rule loses his job after 0-2 start?
Both games have been really, really close. So I think he's going to keep his job for a while. Both games are really close. Last second field goal beat them last week. They lose by a field goal today, right? I mean, games are close. They're not supremely talented.
How did Barkley play?
Not as good as last week.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, the home run hitter doesn't put up great numbers against that miserable Carolina. Carolina's got a pretty stout defense. But again, 70 yards rushing, 20 yards receiving. Oh, man, for a guy they integrate and give him like 30-something plus attempts between rushes and targets on a game, not great. That's all I'm going to say. Barkley, invisible today. Captain Invisible, Grump.
How was Jonathan Taylor today against Jacksonville's defense?
My God. It's funny. Speaking of Jacksonville, I was talking with a few pals. Remember, we had asked the question before this year, what do you think of Trevor Lawrence? Is this a make or break year for him? We talked about this. You know, hey, he struggled so much. He did have the freaking sandbag of Urban Meyer there. We talked about week 1. Man, he showed signs of life. I liked the way he was looking. And holy shit, today, he had a good game against a good defense. And the Indianapolis Colts have a good defense. They do. They do.
How did they look last week against Houston?
Houston, though, think about this. Houston played Indianapolis tough, and they just played Denver tough, too. I think that here's a few things, right? And this kind of like it all ties together. I think Houston's better than we had expected, right? This is not the Houston Texans of the miserable Houston Texans of like when they were a freaking a new squad, when they were one of the they were an expansion team. It's not that type of Houston Texans bad, but man, they look competent. They look competent, and they look like they're a tough team. They're tough out, Grump.
I think they suck. I think Houston sucks. I think Indianapolis sucks.
So you think Russell Wilson's finished then too?
I do think Russell Wilson's on the downside. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a question. Oh, I'm sorry. There's so many things I don't want to bounce around.
That's Denver, though. That's Denver, not Houston.
Yeah, I was about to say because Denver played Houston today, and that's why it kind of all ties together. But I think Jacksonville, right?
Denver lost to a really bad Seattle team last Sunday night, and Seattle was dominated by San Francisco today. dominated from the jump.
Or remember, Seattle was at home. It was a return for Russ. And I say that team probably in Seattle, that's like you talk about Super Bowl games. That was like, hey, this is our equivalent to a Super Bowl game, Grump.
Okay. For me, you're looking at Seattle, Jacksonville, Houston. Those teams are going to be bottom 7 in the league come the end of the year.
You think Jacksonville is going to be bottom 17?
Yeah, because I don't think you go from worst team by far to anything better than that. And I think Trevor Lawrence, like I told you, I think he's going to be fine at quarterback.
I think so too. I think that what we saw out of him last year caused definitely reason for concern. What I've seen out of him in the first 2 games this year have given me reasons to be hopeful and optimistic about his development. You know, Zay Jones, think about it. Like you talk about the weapons around him, not great weapons, but they did make attempts, right? They go ahead and say, hey, we're bringing Zay Jones in. We're bringing Christian Kirk in. You got Travis Etienne, who's healthy. We're trying to help out the offensive line. I think he's looked much better this year.
And they have Doug Peterson, who I think is a little bit of a boob, but he's a good offensive coach. I mean, and as head coach, he's okay. He's like the Campbell fella a little bit.
Dan Campbell, baby, with a win today. Don't get me started. So I like Dan Campbell.
We know. So, I mean, but Peterson, a market upgrade over Urban Meyer and whoever the interim coach was last year. They were abysmal last year. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence was great, but he's getting a ball on a snap and they're on top of him. Tough to be successful. Pressure right in his face. He doesn't like that.
Nobody does.
Yeah. But I do want to mention the Lions.
Well, let's hold on. I don't want to jump all over the place because we're kind of talking about bit by bit, right? We talked about the Jags who beat the Indianapolis Colts. Matt Ryan is just utterly finished for the Colts, wouldn't you say?
This is 3 straight years of let's go to the latest tomato can, ex-quarterback from somebody else who used to be good, and bring him in here and see what happens.
We're talking about 3 years ago, it was Phillip Rivers. 2 years ago, or last year, 2 years ago, it was Phillip Rivers. Last year was Carson Wentz, and this year it's Matt Ryan.
Yep.
So, again, ever since Andrew Luck has left that team, they, again, have never found the answer at quarterback, and they try to always put some random piece in. It's like, oh, and Phillip Rivers had a bounce back year for the Colts. When he had moved there from the Chargers to the Colts. I think Carson Wentz had a solid year, but Matt Ryan is awful. He's finished. He was finished 2 years ago. He was finished last year for the Falcons, and he's finished this year. I mean, 3 picks today. Yikes.
He was like league MVP. What?
4 or 5 years ago?
6 years ago?
Yeah, maybe 5 years
and now he's just totally cashed.
How old is he? He's like, okay, the difference between 33 years old as a quarterback and 38 and 39 is a big difference, man.
I don't know how old he is. I mean, I think he's older than I think.
37.
37. Okay.
So the difference between 31 and 32 years old as a quarterback compared to 37 is pretty significant.
We have some older quarterbacks who are still winning.
We're not moving there yet, Grump, okay? You get your chance to talk about TB12, all right? Just relax, keep it down a little bit. But
all I said was that we have some older quarterbacks who are still winning. That's all I said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what that means. But yeah, Matt Ryan completely finished. That Colts team, yikes. I mean, you talked about Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor only rushed the ball 9 times today. 9 rushes, 54 yards.
6 yards a carry.
Sounds like maybe they weren't utilizing with the right game plan for the Indianapolis Colts. They got down early and they said, no, we got to throw the ball 30 plus times with Matt Ryan.
They just
almost rushing. Yeah, I was about to say you're rushing over 5 yards a carry with a guy like Jonathan Taylor. You're not giving him the ball enough. It's that simple.
They should have stuck with their offense. They were bad. I mean, they're just not a good team.
Michael Pittman was out too for that team. But I'm like, they didn't, right? Michael Pittman, your best wide receiving threat's not there. And instead of relying upon your guy who's an MVP caliber running back and Jonathan Taylor, you say, man, we're just going to throw and spread the ball around to a whole bunch of no-name wideouts.
And you get no-name results.
Yep. You get blah and blase results. So, big win for the Jags, a dominant win, 24-0. But speaking about, right, that Colts team who played against the Texans really tough, The Texans played the Broncos tough today. Broncos won by 7. They won 16-9 over the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans actually tied the Colts last week. I'd forgotten. They tied the Colts. But the Broncos barely come away with a win. They snatch a win against the defeat, the claws. I don't remember. What the hell is that saying you always say, Grump?
I don't know.
They snatch a win from the claws of defeat.
Oh, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
Okay, never mind. It didn't work then. But I mean, like that Houston Texans team has played teams close. I thought they were going to be miserable this year. It's a home game for the Denver Broncos. And after the embarrassing loss they had against the Seattle Seahawks, and that terrible decision to kick that 64-yard field goal, my God, we didn't even have a chance to talk about that on Thursday because we didn't show. But Russell Wilson today, 14 for 31, a touchdown and interception, missing open wideouts left and right. I'm worried that he is done.
I said to you after that game, what did I say? What on the Monday night game? What did I say?
I don't even remember.
He can't throw the ball anymore. His motion is all different. It looks like he just can't make any throws anymore. And I'm like, man, they're going to rue the day they signed him to that contract extension.
Well, the funny thing is Richard Sherman and apparently Russell Wilson have a beef going on. And this guy, Don, always posts these football updates. And Richard Sherman is just with a huge shitting grin on his face about how Russell Wilson's struggling. Russell started off the day 4 for 14 with 48 yards passing. And it was a miserable, miserable start to the day. And, of course, it's a compilation of all of these miserable throws by Russell Wilson. So just in case you didn't have a chance to catch the game, how bad was Russell? Oh, it's 14 for 31. Maybe his wideouts are just dropping balls. And, who the hell knows what the reason were. I'll let you watch some of these incomplete passes. It looks like Russell Wilson, again, another very nice guy, nothing against him, but he just is finished. He just doesn't look like he has it anymore.
No, his arm just doesn't look. It just doesn't look the same.
Yale has time. Yeah. Sidearms.
Whoop. Not stepping
pressure in his face. I mean, like he's a guy who, hey, I've got all the time in the world. No, you don't, my friend. He didn't look good. Again, that 4 for 14 to start the game and 14 for 31 was there for a reason with a touchdown and a pick. Not off to a great start, Russell Wilson. That's for certain, Grump. So you think he's finished? I hope not, but I think you're probably right. I think that maybe his years of being one of those top tier quarterbacks, a top 5. I mean, he used to be a top 5 guy in the league. He's nowhere near that. And you'd even argue last year, last year was just, man, that was just an albatross. He's still a top 10 QB. He'll bounce back. I'm afraid not. I'm not even sure I put him in top 10 conversation. He's towards the bottom end. If that's the case, I mean, he's not what he used to be. And it's a shame.
No. It is what it is. Maybe it's that girlfriend / wife that he has, the singer.
Sierra. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's just, spend a little bit much time with her and not enough time studying tape or working on his fundamentals. Because he looked, to me, I'm like, he can't throw the ball anymore. That was the first thing I said. Matter of fact, during the game, I'm like, he can't make throws anymore. Maybe he's got an injury. That's the one caveat. Maybe somehow he got hurt not playing in preseason. I don't know how you get hurt. Maybe he hurt himself, getting off his yacht. I don't know. Who knows? But he does not seem like the same guy. That's all.
Broncos Nation, let's ride. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, good gracious. Anthony R. said, Goff and the Detroit offense looks real good. Let's talk a little bit about that Detroit team, Grumpy.
I'm really happy for them.
I am too. I like Dan Campbell. I know a few guys that I know personally that play for Detroit. Good guys. And hey, they beat the Washington Commanders, Grumpy. And I'm happy Detroit is finally hopefully going to see some positive light again return. I'm rooting for them to win a freaking playoff game. It's just like, it's the same thing when you look at the Browns for so long. Like, I'm rooting for the teams that have been miserable for so long to do well. There's no reason. You know what I mean? Just like, I feel bad for their fans. Same thing with the Jets. I root for them to be successful.
I can't remember the last time actually, I think they lost to Dallas the last time they got into a playoff game. But yeah, here's the thing. They're not a great team. Neither is Washington. What does it say about Philadelphia, really? Everyone thought after week 1, man, Philadelphia is really good. Are they really? Because, I just think these are a lot of teams that maybe we're overestimating based on what they've been in previous seasons. So you're seeing an elevation. Detroit maybe is not as bad as they used to be, and maybe the Washingtons and Philadelphias aren't as good as we're thinking that they could be this year.
I remember last year, that was the bold prediction I had, is that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to struggle big time. And I cannot remember who the hell is the name of the coach there for Philly.
Nick Satriani.
I thought Nick Satriani was going to be fired midway through the season. That was my hot take. I said, you have a whole bunch of coaches who are young, in their 30s, who don't have a lot of NFL experience between them. I said, they're going to struggle right off the bat with a young quarterback like that and Jalen Hurts, who I didn't think is very talented, and I still don't. And they surprised a lot when they wound up finding the way and squeaking into the playoffs. I do not think they're a good team, though. They play in a bad division, which may help them out, but they're not a good team.
True. Well, I think they're going to be better offensively. I don't think they're real good defensively. Are they really good defensive? Or maybe they're better defensively than we think. Maybe Detroit is better than we think offensively. Good for Jared Goff, too.
Yeah, I was about to say Jared Goff. I mean, like Carson Wentz. I mean, even you look at the stats. Carson Wentz was terrific today. The stats look good, but his play was not good. Okay. If that makes sense.
In my money league, Carson Wentz had 0 points at halftime. He wound up having 28-point-something points by the end of the game.
I was about to say, he had a lot of garbage yards and garbage throws when Detroit started playing, hey, let's not lose.
It's always good in fantasy to have, if you're going to have guys, you want guys who are on shitty teams who are going to be stat stuffers at the end of the games when their team's getting blown out. Those are good players to have.
Yeah. And Jared Goff had a good game. I mean, like DeAndre Swift. I mean, like the entire team balanced attack between the rush and the pass. They've got talented backfield. I don't think Goff is a good quarterback. I think he's a game manager, right? He's one of those game manager type of QBs. But good for Detroit. I root for Detroit. I root for teams like that.
I think it's time that people recognize St. Brown as a great receiver.
Okay.
Look at his numbers. I think he's had 8 straight games with 8+ catches. That's pretty good.
Jared Goff has a tendency just to find guys with these little underneath routes and find guys with these short routes.
What were his stats today?
Give me a sec, Grump.
I mean, he was tremendous. Not good. Tremendous today.
2 rushes, 68 yards, 9 receptions, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
But that's pretty good. That's a really good day. 2 rushes for a wide receiver for 68 yards, 9 catches for 100+, and 2 touches. Who does that? That's a great day. He's had, I think, 8 straight games with 8 catches or more. 8 straight, going back to last year. Like I said, just time to recognize him as a really good wide receiver. He doesn't get the pub because he didn't come out of Ohio State or LSU or Alabama. He came from Piddly Pup U as a 3rd-round pick. This kid's a real deal. He really is.
I will wait to jump to that conclusion, Grump.
Okay, he did it last year. He's doing it this year. It's time to recognize him.
How many weapons does that Lions team have to throw to?
It doesn't matter. He's getting the job done.
Hold on. When Jameson Williams comes in, you think he's still going to be getting all that attention? You think he's still going to get all those targets? Or no?
If he's producing like that, he's going to be the number 1 option. Period.
Really? Over Jameson Williams?
DJ Chark is the other guy. He's a good receiver.
Hold on. What did DJ Chark do last year for the Jacksonville Jags? Nothing.
Okay, it was Jacksonville with Urban Meyer. Okay, the year before, he was really good for Jacksonville.
DJ Chark didn't even register a catch today. So if that tells you how he played. DJ Chark's not the same wideout he was 2 years ago. Ahmad-Ra St. Brown is the only guy at wideout. Josh Reynolds is not a guy who screams, elite wide receiver. TJ Hawkinson's a tight end. It's literally Ahmad-Ra St. Brown and Williams when he's healthy. I'm just saying, right? Just like we talk about in the NHL, somebody always has to find a way to score. If you're on a shitty team, somebody always has to catch the passes, if that makes sense.
Okay, but he's doing the job. You don't think defenses realize this as well? And he's still getting the job done.
I think his performance.
What does he got to have? A 2,500 years a season with 40 touchdown catches before you're going to say, yeah, I guess he's pretty good. I'm telling you, the kid's good. If you can't see it, I can't help you.
You said he's underrated. Sure, I'll
Yeah.
give you that. How good he is, jury's still out on it. He
Okay.
okay. Simple. Anyway, Frank K says Brian Dable has the Giants playing hard. They do.
Do you remember? I think it was in the offseason. TJ was lamenting the fact, well, the Giants should try to lose so they can get a quarterback high up in the draft. And I'm like, the coach isn't going to do that.
The Giants should try to lose to get a legitimate quarterback.
Okay.
I stick by
Brian
that.
Daboll, I said, Brian, and I told you, Brian Daboll is not a guy who's just going to go out there and say, well, let's tank for a quarterback. Not if he wants to keep his job.
He's not going to do it like the Brian Flores, where he's going to be tempted with monetary with compensation to say, hey, lose games and we'll pay you more.
I have no idea. All I know is this guy has turned the Giants. I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer. Well established there. But you're right. Frank is right. Absolutely. He has the Giants playing hard, without a doubt. They're going to, here's the thing. I'm not saying they're going to make playoffs. They're going to be better, way better than last year, though.
Mm.
They come from Buffalo / New England / Alabama. Daboll has been all those places. They got the new GM from Buffalo, knows what he's doing. I like what the Giants are doing.
Alexander says, what's up, guys? How you both doing? How about Tua, baby?
Great day today. Great day today.
Let me pop this little graphic up on screen, Grumpy. When we're talking about Tua, had a great game today. I always like to show this, like when we're talking winning percentage. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm giving away some of the things we're talking about later, but that's fine. We talk about the winning percentage, Grump. Best winning percentage for quarterbacks drafted in 2020. Tua, 15-8. Jalen Hurts, 10-10. Herbert, 16-18. And Joe Burrow, 12-14-1. Ooh, Tua's got the best winning percentage. How much stock do you put into the winning percentage for these guys?
Teams are paid to win. The Dolphins had a pretty good defense the last couple of years under Flores. He was just kind of managing them to a certain extent. I still don't believe in his arm, but his weapons are superior. Cincinnati has good weapons. You're seeing them this year, though, suffering from the Super Bowl hangover, 0-2 after the first 2 weeks. Justin Herbert, to me, is really, really good. Jalen Hurts, I lump him in with Tua, honestly. I think Hurts has a better arm, but he's a better runner. But, I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to rank the four of them? It's Herbert, Burrow. They're 1 and 2, 2 and 1, however. And then Hurts and 2 is last for me, talent-wise. But he's got the weapons. I mean, that's all that matters. He's hitting guys who are wide open, like Mahomes did for a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely he did. And again, it's a lot easier to put up great numbers when you have all the time back there in the world as a quarterback and you're hitting your wide open wide receivers.
I know it's really, really early, but right now, you got to say Miami is a team that looks like they can make the playoffs this year.
I'd be shocked if they didn't. There's 3 wild card teams that make the postseason every year now. They should make the postseason. Simple.
Well, they look like a team that could. Their offense is good. Their defense is not bad. I mean, I think at the end of the day, teams, when you pressure Tua, he just throws the ball up for grabs. He just does. I mean, he's got to get that out of him. Against New England, they had pressure. He just throwing it willy-nilly, almost fumbled a couple times. Just no.
That's it, Grumpy? No.
I think they have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs this year. I thought they were going to be close. I didn't think they'd make it. I think they have a real shot.
Okay, fair enough, Grumpy.
McDaniels does a great job scheming those guys open. Great job.
Well, the Jets had a big come from behind victory today over the Browns, Grump.
Credit to the Jets. Another team that was dead and buried today. Cleveland takes their foot off the gas. Jacoby Brissett does Jacoby Brissett things. And Joe Flacco turned back the clock to 2015, whenever they won the Super Bowl with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And, Garrett Wilson had a great day.
He did. He did. And that's right. Like, people are worried. And you had said, Grumpy, you're worried. Oh, Salah looked lost. What do you hold?
No. I said he had a look on his face like, I don't know what to do with these guys.
You said he looked lost out there on the field.
I
think
said
it's
he had.
exactly what you said.
It's like he was at loss for an answer. That's the look he has. Like, oh, I don't know what the hell is going on here. He had that last week against who'd they lose to? The Ravens. Hey, let's give credit. I like Robert Saleh. I think he's a good coach. They were abysmal last week. Better this week.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how many more weeks until Zach Wilson gets back.
I think 2 or 3 more weeks until Wilson's back. Well, that's a big plus for them
if they start winning games under Flacco. Do you leave Wilson on the bench for a while?
Hell no. Absolutely not. You need to find out if he's the answer or not sooner rather than later.
Okay.
He spent a lot of time learning underneath. I put him back in there. Absolutely. I mean, Baker Mayfield. How's your boy Baker doing, Grump? I never asked you. How's your boy Baker doing for those Panthers? How's your boy Baker doing, Grumpy? How is he, man? He's fantastic quarterback, Baker Mayfield. How's he doing, man?
No weapons.
Oh, is that what it is? No weapons?
No weapons.
Now you sound like one of those Tua supporters. No weapons. No, he just doesn't have any weapons. That's why he's struggling.
I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback in the world.
He sucks.
Here's the thing. If Baker Mayfield played in that Miami offense, he'd be putting up numbers like that.
He had weapons in freaking Cleveland.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
They were a run team. They weren't a throwing team. They were running team.
Okay, Nick Chubb, when he was there, was a top freaking 5 running back in the NFL, and they had damn Kareem Hunt. The duo was the best 1-2 punch in the NFL.
That's right. They're a running team.
Hold on. You had wide receiver threats of Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. You had wide receiver weapons. He sucks as a quarterback. He is a freaking game manager at best.
Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry are not these two guys. And the coach makes a difference, too, with the scheme. This is a throwing offense. They throw the ball. That was not Cleveland's offense. And maybe it's because they play in Cleveland where the winds are what they are in the middle of December. I can understand that, but they're not a throwing team. If Baker Mayfield played on Miami right now, he'd be putting up the same numbers. They're the same guy. I don't think good enough to win your championship.
You think there'd be time periods of Baker Mayfield throwing 450 plus yards?
Absolutely. His arm is way better than Tua's arm. Way better.
Baker
way better.
Both bad quarterbacks. They're both bad quarterbacks. There's nothing against them.
If you put Tua in Carolina's offense, it looks worse than it does now because his arm isn't as good.
Frank K says, it reminds me of the Islanders 2018-2019 season with the surprising results of the Giants.
It's still early. I was going
to say, it's only week 2 on that one. Alexander says that shows you that Herbert chokes in the big moments. Absolutely
no.
I still take Herbert any day of the week over Tua.
Any day.
Actually, I would mortgage off pieces to make sure I can have Herbert over Tua.
Yeah. There's no comparison between the two of them.
Tony Cheese says, hello, boys. Sorry, I haven't been able to post clip. What's up, Tony Cheese? He says, life and work has kicked me in the balls. Also, I apologize to my 27 subscribers. Tony Cheese, I hope you're doing well. Hope life is going to get better for you. Hope it's not too bad and down in the dumps there, Tony Cheese. Andrew L says, it echoes every video you show, TJ.
Told you. I can tell when this stuff echoes.
Oh, fair enough. I can't hear the echo, so
I know. That's why I tell you. I let it go for a long time, but now it's like, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
If it does, let me know, and I'll have to try to play around with it or something. Who the hell knows? Drew L says, Giants 2-0, baby. Frank K says, Matt Ryan needs to retire.
Agreed.
B. Bean saying, Ohio State 77, Toledo 21, and Georgia beat Oregon, Samford, and South Carolina. Alexander said, I still can't get over that victory by the Dolphins. I have no voice. It's good. Honestly, though, it's good for Dolphin fans to have something.
Absolutely.
Like that. When is the last time you could say we've had a come from behind victory in the fashion we did today, which was something you were not. I mean, like that Baltimore Ravens team, right? 3 years ago, one of the best teams in all football when Lamar Jackson was just coming onto the scene.
Maybe they're just not that good.
I don't think Baltimore is as good as they were. That's right. I believe you.
I mean, I think Alexander has season tickets, does he not, to Miami games? I believe he does.
Thought he used to, but now he lives in Texas.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, there you go. Sorry, I forgot
says,
about that.
Who does Grumpy think the top 2 teams in college football are then?
As of right now?
Correct.
Georgia and Alabama.
Okay,
or Georgia.
So who's
Georgia, Ohio State.
Teams, so the 2 teams that are rated as the top 2, so you think. Okay, good to know.
Right. It's early yet. It's early.
The return of the Jedi, Rusty Spooner, says crazy Jets game. I can't believe we got a successful onside kick.
No one converts on the onside kicks anymore. They've made it so tough to do that it's almost impossible. And somehow that should have been bad news to the Browns. The Browns are another loser franchise, though, right? I mean, they used to be winners way back, but they have a reputation of being a loser. You got beat by the Jets today on a play like that.
Damn, Grumpy, you're gonna demean. You're gonna talk to shit like the Jets fans.
I think there were only like something like 11 successful onside kicks last year, the whole year.
And the Jets got one, baby.
It might not even been that many. I don't know how many it was. Maybe it was like 2. Just not a whole lot. It's just really,
there was
really
one successful onside kick all of last year. There's been one successful onside kick in the last decade, right, Grumpy?
And the Jets get one, and Flacco turns back the clock. Great.
Yeah, there it is.
I want to say, we showed the thing about Garrett Wilson getting on the Cleveland fans. I'm going to guarantee you they were talking mad shit to him the whole game. Guarantee.
I don't know, Grumpy.
Oh, you're right, because the dog pound is just like really solid model citizens when they see the opposition come in. Yeah, okay. Particularly somebody from that area? No.
You're from that area, Grumpy?
No, these fans are from that area. What
are you talking about?
Garrett Wilson played at Columbus in Ohio.
Correct.
So I'm sure that they're talking shit about him not performing at certain times. Who knows? They're talking crap. They are.
Again, it's never a win.
Thanks, Garrett.
Never a win.
Great job, Garrett. Great job, Garrett. You did a good job. Yeah, that's what happened.
It's never a win anytime you get into it with the fans. Simple as that. But let's look at this little onside kick here. Oh my
look,
God.
He's able to execute that little sideways job.
No, he didn't. Look at it again. Look at it again. It doesn't go up in the air.
Popped it right.
It doesn't go up in the air, Grumpy.
There it is. There's the pop.
On the ground, Grumpy. Here's the thing.
There
look,
it is.
Here's an NFL kicker who does a crossbody. And tell me if we get a huge bounce on the second hit.
Watch here. There it is. Right here coming up. There it is. And he didn't. Here's the thing. That guy needed to come up faster.
Honestly, though, right here, you see at a number 2, a lack of want. Look at this shit.
Yep.
Like, dude, this is just didn't want to get hit. It's like when Cam Newton had that Super Bowl in the Super Bowl. He didn't want to dive after that ball because someone was diving there. It's just like he didn't have the freaking desire to freaking put his body on the line for the team's success. That's Amari Cooper right there.
I'm going to tell you something.
That's pathetic, Cooper.
I'm going to tell you something. Oh, that's right, Amari Cooper. We should expect that
pathetic.
from him.
Oh,
he's on the freaking hands team.
Why not? He's a fucking wideout.
What I'm saying is he's on the hands team and he wouldn't go for that ball.
Dude, I'm just like, no, he just wouldn't fight for it. Now he's rubbing his hands like, oh, yeah, I must have had some sweat on there, and that's what affected me. No, your inability to freaking take a hit and be a freaking team leader is what stopped you from getting that ball. God almighty. Oh, I didn't watch it like that and get it from that angle earlier when I was watching it and I just got a glance at it. But man, Amari Cooper, freaking lazy and just freaking no freaking guts.
Okay.
No guts.
Just to show that I'm always fair,
ugh,
even with my favorites, the hero of the people today, there was a fumbled exchange between him and the center.
Okay, well, you're already talking about the damn Buccaneers now?
Well, I'm just saying this is another segue. I've had numerous segues that you just ignore, but the hero of the people did not dive on that pile and get that ball. He's like, screw it. It was in the first quarter, first drive. They had down at the 25, bad center quarterback exchange, and he did not go in there at all. I'm not going in there. 45 years old, screw that shit. I'm not doing it. That's what the hero of the people did today.
Okay, hold on. What did you expect? What did you expect him to do from this position? Did you watch that fumble close?
I did.
Okay, I don't think you did because I just got it pulled up. What do you expect him to do from this position?
Dive in there. Watch what he does. 31.
Okay, the ball is 3 yards away from him, and he's on his fucking knees. What do you expect him to do from this?
Dive in there. Get it.
He did dive after it. Dude, okay. He didn't dive after it, but it was a shitty exchange between the quarterback and the freaking center.
Who are you blaming on that exchange? Are you
it's
blaming the 23-year veteran or the first-year center?
I don't know.
Who's never played that position in college and is only playing because they're starting
the center. If you look really close, the center doesn't put the ball in his hands. He hits it off his ass. When he's snapping that football, it doesn't even hit Brady's hands.
That's why I'm saying
snaps it off his ass.
Who you blaming on that?
That's the center. The center doesn't actually put the ball in the quarterback's hands. But still, I don't know what you expect him to do on that. He's not going to recover that. And here's the thing, right? Could he have jumped in and made a He-Man attempt and Herculean attempt? Yeah, sure, maybe he could have. But dude, the guy's a freaking frail 45-year-old man.
He's skinny
At
as
this
shit.
stage, sometimes he could fall off. If he was doing some roofing, he'd fall off the ladder and snap an ankle in half, man. He's not going to go ahead and put himself at risk.
What? Yeah. You know what I want to see? Because he looks so thin. Supposedly him and that harpy Giselle are having real problems.
Break up with your ass then.
I'd love to see him win a Super Bowl because he had and he was talking about everyone who helps him with the season, his parents, his kids, nothing about the harpy. Nothing at all. He did not mention her at all. That means they're done.
So you think it's all just for show?
I want to see him win the championship and say, Giselle, this is for you, baby. Wham! Spike that bell. I hate that chick. She's ruined the greatest ever. She's trying to ruin him. I don't understand why she's so adamant about him not playing. His career is just about over.
And then he's going to go to broadcasting, so he doesn't have to spend any time with her either.
All the time. He's home all the time. I don't know what she's complaining about. Honestly, his career is okay. Playing NFL quarterback takes more time than being an announcer.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, being an NFL quarterback takes more time and effort than walking down a freaking strip in shoes. So, say what you want. Yeah, say what you want. Anyway, Tom Brady. Yeah. I'll tell you, I don't know what you expect on that one.
Tommy, Tommy, I don't care about your career. I just want to walk the aisle.
I tell you. Dude, I did not know that was Amari Cooper watching that back over.
I didn't realize either.
Did you happen to watch any of that Patriots and Steelers game?
A little bit, yeah. I was doing the bounce around.
How long before Trubisky's going to find the bench? He looked like shit today.
Maybe another. Yeah, they were terrible last week too. Maybe 2-3 weeks. That's it. And that's what they should do. They should bring Pickett in. You don't invest a first-round pick in a guy like that and sit him on the bench forever and ever. 2-3 weeks.
Najee Harris hasn't really done much either when you talk about production-wise. He still does have that injury. I think that's lingering. It's affecting his ability to play. And Ben Roethlisberger was so finished last year, and they still were able to find ways to win games. And you still got better production out of a finished 30 late-year-old Ben Roethlisberger than you're getting out of I'm in my prime Mitchell Trubisky. Think about that.
Yeah. It's because Trubisky sucks. Think about that draft. Who went after Trubisky? And here's the thing. Chicago traded up to number 2 to get him.
Yikes.
Watson, Mahomes.
Yikes.
And they traded up.
I'm sorry.
Kansas City traded up to 10 to get Mahomes.
Yep.
And where did Watson go? 11, 12? I forget where they picked him.
It was 13, but I don't remember.
Okay. But the Bears traded up to get Trubisky. He played for the ACC, North Carolina. He sucks.
12th overall for Watson.
Okay. I'm just I didn't understand why I said Trubisky. I watched him play. He blows. He ain't proved me wrong. He's terrible. Sorry, Mitch. Sorry, Mitchell. AKA Mitch Trubisky, Mitch the bitch.
There it is.
Guys like that.
Yes, you do.
They're all bitches. Anybody named Mitch is usually a bitch.
All I want to freaking say is I called it with Trey Lance. 49ers to the Super Bowl now with Jimmy Garoppolo, says Drew L.
Their biggest drawback is that coach.
They do not have a quarterback.
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not a good QB. Trey Lance probably wasn't ready to be a great QB if he even does have the ability to do that.
Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. Okay.
He sucks. He's a game manager.
Okay, but he's a good quarterback. You can win with him.
Oh, no, he's not.
Let me finish. You can win with him. You're not going to win championships with him, but you can win regular season games with him. Absolutely can. Let me tell you something. If the Giants had Jimmy Garoppolo this year, they'd make the playoffs.
The Giants might make the playoffs already, Grumpy. They're 2-0.
I don't think so. The NFC is really weak, but I don't see that.
And their division is really weak, too. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
Mike McCarthy.
He's a shitty QB. Bad QB.
How long does Mike McCarthy last as head coach of Dallas?
What the hell's up? Grumpy, you got some indigestion or something going on there? What's going on, my man?
Just answer my question.
I don't know. It's tough to say for that because what are you going to do? You're going to blame him because his starting quarterback injures his thumb? I don't know, Grump. It's tough. Well, it's like saying, you know what it's like? It was like when Indianapolis had that transition year when they're just like, here you go. I think it was with Pagano. You're just going to be here as an interim coach. You're going to hold the spot for a year. Or who the hell was it as they had Peyton Manning got injured and they had that new coach and he was there for that 1 year. And as soon as they got Andrew Luck, that guy was fired that year after they had a bad year and they lost.
I don't remember who the coach was.
I mean, it's tough to, and I mean, the Dallas Cowboys won today, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're 1-1. He's got a freaking backup QB in. What are you expecting from him?
I just don't think he's a very good coach.
I
just don't think he's a very good coach. I think that organization is in a bad state.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers. Again, we mentioned them, but let's talk about the Patriots. Patriots find a way to win today. After, I would say on the road after they had a lackluster performance in a season opener against the Miami Dolphins.
They weren't in the great shakes today either.
They found a way to win, is what I said.
Yeah. Okay. They'll lose next week to Baltimore.
You think so?
Yeah. I think if Baltimore would have won today, they would have had a shot to beat them. Not now. Not now. They're not going to take the foot off the gas against New England. And here's the thing. Baltimore always plays the Patriots tough.
They do. Alexander says, hey, Grump, should I send you a Tua apology form?
No, that's
and okay. He says, Herbert is a better talent, but Tua is the better QB.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
Wow. I can't. No, I don't see that one.
If you had Herbert on your team, you'd be talking the exact opposite. Yep. I know you would. Herbert's better than Tua. Sorry.
Brian J said, yo, Tua was garbage today. I wish I saw more. Oh, God. Grumpy, really. Alexander also saying, and he played well last week against New England.
No, he
was efficient last week against New England.
He was freaking terrible. He was terrible. No.
Gesicki. Yeah, Gesicki is good. I mean, that was a really clutch catch by him. Absolutely.
Nice catch.
He didn't have a great game.
That was a ball that really not a good throw.
Tua has arrived. Jesus, man. I don't know.
What they used to say about Elvis
at the
end of his conferences, they used to say, Elvis has left the building. That's what they always used to say.
At the end of the concerts, yeah. I tell you, I cannot say Tua has arrived. I don't buy that yet.
Look at the smiles on those kids. They got great smiles, don't they?
They'd have twice as big of a smile if Justin Herbert was playing for the Dolphins.
I'm telling you
They'd be even happier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Oof. Drew L said, my fantasy football team suffered some serious ramifications from that Dolphins game. I faced Tyreek Hill. Oh, man. Tough to win when a guy like that goes off. Tyreek Hill had a huge game, too.
Yep.
Alexander said, you don't need to have a strong arm to be successful in the NFL. And Tua has shown that he can carry a team.
Oh, no.
Alexander, man. Hold on. Alexander, it's one game. No. I went on Twitter
No.
I went on Twitter, listen to this, and they had one of those spaces. Grumpy, do you remember when you went on a space to talk about the Islanders and I gave you access to the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man Twitter account? You talked about the Islanders in that Twitter space?
I think so. Yeah, I remember that once. Yeah.
Okay. So the topic I scrolled in, it said, Tua is my franchise quarterback. Is my franchise caliber quarterback. I'm like, holy shit, guys, it was one game.
I mean,
I'm not saying he's not going to be able to grow into something, but I'm like, man, it's one game.
Alexander, you know I love you. You know that.
Now I'm starting to question if you love him, Grumpy. I'm not sure.
No. I just come on. No. No.
Drew L said, TJ, to be fair, Saquon and Daniel Jones was putrid today.
To be fair to Saquon, Daniel Jones was.
There's no comma there, Grumpy. Sorry. I said to be fair to Saquon, Daniel Jones, and I'm trying to read it.
Why don't you just read it as it's written? How about giving that?
What is Saquon supposed to do when his quarterback had 20 passing attempts for 90 yards?
Yeah. If Jimmy Garoppolo was
hold on. Daniel Jones had 176 passing yards and 34 attempts. I'll tell you, Barkley is a boomer bust guy. That's just who he is. He's a more talented Reggie Bush. That's what he is.
How many rushes did he have today? How many rushes did Saquon Barkley have today?
21 for 72 yards.
So he averaged almost 4 yards a pop.
No, 3.4 yards a pop, Grumpy. Not almost 4, 3.4. Okay, dude, that's average. He's not an average back. He is a better form of Reggie Bush, meaning Reggie Bush was a guy who had the ability to have game-breaking type of plays. That's Barkley. He's a guy who has that game-breaking type of ability to him. He's a guy to where he's not having those game-breaking plays. He's average, just like Reggie Bush was.
I'm going to tell you what. Running backs are only as good as those fat, lazy, out-of-shape slugs that play in front of them.
You know what? They're only as good as those lazy.
Have to crawl off the field.
They're only as good as those lazy tight end bastards named Everett. Not freaking goddamn running his route and working back towards the ball. That's who it's really about, Grumpy. Not the lineman. Not the lineman. That's for certain. But yeah, here's the thing. It's okay. That Carolina defense is a pretty good defense, but they're a better pass stopping defense than they're a run stopping defense. Wouldn't you agree, Grump?
Say that again.
Wow, thanks for not listening. But that Carolina defense is a better pass stopping defense than a run stopping defense, right? They've got the Derrick Brown in there to help clog things up, but they're better at stopping the pass than they are against the run.
I don't know. I don't think they're really – I think they're okay both ways. I don't think one is better than the other. Chubb ran wild on them last week. But, that's Cleveland. Cleveland is a better offensive line than the Giants. I think the Giants are coming along.
I think Cleveland's got one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Okay, right. The Giants aren't as good. Nick Chubb had a really good day yesterday. They have some pieces in the defensive backfield. The Panthers are a ways away, yo. I wouldn't say that their defense is rock solid. I don't think so.
I think they're good against the pass. I think they struggle against the run. If you're looking at, I think they're a solid defense all around. They're better against the pass than they are against the run. That Panthers defense.
Look at the two quarterbacks they played the first 2 days.
Fantastic.
Jacoby Brissett and Daniel Jones. Like I said, pump the freaking brakes before you say they're a great pass defense.
I said they're better against the pass than they are against the run. Holy shit. I didn't say they're great against the pass. I said they're better.
Let's see how they look when the hero of the people rolls through at the end of October.
You know what? Jacoby Brissett, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's all I'm going to say. Alexander says, Grumpy, Nathaniel Hackett is absolutely terrible coach. Honestly, if he wasn't, hey, I'm the coach for the first time here, he should have been gone after that performance. That was such hideous clock management. I'm like, fire this hack already. Get rid of his ass 1 game in.
TJ and I were on the phone at the time and I'm like, why are you running? They were like at their own 40.
I'm like, start hurrying things up. Start running, hurry up.
They had 2.5 minutes to go with 3 timeouts. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you burning clock? He settles for a 64-yard field goal attempt. Then he starts calling timeouts when the other team when Seattle had the ball and he was pissed off they weren't. I'm like, dude, you already shit the bed on this one. Don't waste your time calling quarterback timeouts. You should just be happy that they let you get back to the locker room. He lost the game, and he did say if later in the week yeah, to do it all over again, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, he actually just shit the bed. Terrible.
Did you see that glasses boy Blankenship, Rodrigo Blankenship was cut?
Bye-bye. Didn't I tell you that? I told you should have got cut. Not for missing the kick, for kicking 2 balls out of bounds. Back-to-back kickoffs out of bounds. Goodbye, Sammy Skate Shoes. You're gone.
Mr. Healy, Grumpy. Oh yeah, so he was cut. But it's funny, right? You think about, so there have been some really fantastic kickers before that have been cut. And I cannot remember who the hell is the name of the general manager of the Vikings.
I don't know. It used to be Spielman. Rick Spielman, I think, used to be their GM.
Rick Spielman, that's right. Rick Spielman. And they got Adolfo Mensa as the new guy, but Rick Spielman. So Rick Spielman, the old white guy, I remember him now. He had come out and they had asked him about what was the biggest mistakes you've made as a general manager. He said, the biggest mistake I ever made was releasing and cutting Daniel Carlson and then signing Dan Bailey, because Carlson had he went 1 for 4 on field goals and they cut him after that. Daniel Carlson goes to the Raiders and is one of the best kickers in all the league. I'm not saying Rodrigo Blankenship is going to be the same exact thing, but I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just tough when you go ahead and cut those guys who've been such successful kickers for all their career and they have one bad game and you cut them.
Yeah.
You think he got cut because of those goggles or those little glasses? Was that
I think he got cut because he sucks.
Oh, come on.
I don't think much of him as a kicker. He kicks in a freaking dome. In a dome.
Yeah.
He never should have missed that field goal. That was a chippy. But to me, he kicked 2 balls out of bounds on kickoffs. I don't give a shit who you are. If you cannot keep it within the playing field on kickoffs in today's NFL, cut him. I said that to you. And I said it to you as it happened. This guy needs to get cut.
Yep. Frank says Jets, Jets. What's up, Frank? And he says, yeah, baby. Hi, gents. What's up, Frank? How are you? Drew L said, speaking of the Texans, let me tell you, Derek Stingley is good. He did a good job at neutralizing Cortland Sutton. Yeah, Stingley from LSU, Grumpy.
Yeah, he also got a little beneficial on a touchdown pass that was called back.
Well, let's talk about the few more games we didn't cover. We got that. Oh, let's talk about that Saints and Buccaneers game. Did you happen to see a little bit of the between the whistles that occurred?
Okay. At the end of the game, I don't know what it is about.
Well, hold on. Did you see what Bruce Arians did? Hold on. Bruce Arians still on the sidelines for them?
They let him do whatever the hell he want there. I mean, he's just like a consultant, but he was yelling at Lattimore, and Lattimore was talking shit to him.
He yells at Mike Evans and tells him to get in there and fight him.
Is that what he said?
Hold on. Listen to this. He says, go get in there and fight him. And that's Mike Evans right there. And he gets in there, and that's when he makes his shit up with Lattimore.
I've been tough on Mike Evans. I feel bad for him. He's like, and then you look.
That's what it says.
But if you keep watching,
Mike Evans in like an attack dog. He did. He's like, get in there and mix it up.
Okay, that is as far as it goes? Because there was another guy.
I'll show you the video of everything that was happening. I'm showing you. This is Bruce Arians telling him.
I understand. I got it. I saw that earlier. I saw it. I didn't hear any of it. But that's as far as it goes. There's another guy who was standing over there who has a headset on. He takes the headset off. He's like, what the hell are you doing? They need to keep Arians. I always told you he's a freaking buffoon, that Arians. They need to keep him as far as possible away from the field.
Well, this is what Mike Evans said here too. He's like, this is freaking Tom Brady. What the F do you want? What the F do you expect me to do? So let's actually see though what caused all this to transpire. Oh, I gotta make sure I retweeted it.
Dude, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I'm sorry. Here it is. Okay, I retweeted it a second ago. Here you go. My apologies, Grumpy. My apologies to all the listeners of the show. I'll be better as a curator of the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show. But this is what had happened. This is what had occurred.
Casey Evans came off and he just rocked.
Lattimore. Those, for whatever reason, Tampa and the Saints always get in these freaking huge freaking fights almost all the time, I feel.
It wasn't much of a fight. Lattimore was talking shit.
Who cares?
And Brady doesn't tolerate. Then Fournette shoves him. He hits Fournette, And then he gets shoved down.
Why? Who gives a shit?
And Evans and Lattimore both got bounced. And after that happened, Tampa Bay took over.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Marcus Lattimore owns Mike Evans on the field. I want to say something. I've been extremely critical of Mike Evans in the past. Everyone who listens to this show knows I just don't consider him a real tough football player.
You don't consider him an elite caliber wideout.
Yeah, I just think in the big moments he kind of shrinks a little bit. I think you could take him out of the game physically. I'm giving him his major props today. I'm a big Mike Evans fan now. Good for him.
Because he wouldn't have stuck up for Tom Brady. Is that really what it is?
No,
bullshit. That's exactly what it is. Come on. Be honest. Be honest with the fans.
I didn't realize he was trying to protect Brady. I thought he was protecting Fournette. It showed me something from Mike Evans. Kudos to Mike Evans.
This is only just because he stuck up for Tom Brady.
No, it was for, I like that. I didn't even know it was that. I thought it was because of what he did to Fournette. But here's the thing. I know he and Lattimore do not get along. Lattimore's always in his face. Lattimore owns him on the football field. Just owns him.
Why the hell is Brady getting into shit and piss talking match?
Because he does that all the time. Brady's a big shit talker himself.
My God. I'm like, dude, you know what you do? You beat the living shit out of them, then you talk shit to them. At this point in time, the game was still close. I'm like, why are you doing anything like this?
I think the game was tied.
10-10 tie at the time period. Why would you do something so unbelievably dumb that could cost you?
I think it was 3-3. I think it was 3-3.
Oh, it's 3-3 at this point? Okay. Yeah. But I'm like, my God, Brady hasn't. Now, how has Brady looked, you think, this year, Grumpy?
Guys dropping balls all over the place. That's what I wanted to get to early. I don't know what the hell it is in Tampa. They don't know how to train up their players, particularly their skill position. Evans, hamstring injury, has been bothering him already. Godwin comes off the knee injury, hamstring injury. Julio Jones, hamstring injury. Why do all these guys have hamstring injuries? It tells me your conditioning guys or stretch guys are just not doing the job. I've never seen
not doing the job.
How many wide receivers do you see getting hurt in the course of a game in, game out? Not too many. And they're always hurt. He was down today. Evans, because Evans was tossed. Evans, Julio Jones, and Chris Godwin out. Gronk not there. Cam Brake dropping balls. Scotty Miller dropping balls right in his hands. Bashard Perriman dropping 2 balls right in his hands. That's what he was working with. Their offensive line today, Donovan Smith, the left tackle, didn't play. They brought in Josh Wells, who's miserable. He gets hurt. And then they bring in some guy, Brandon Walton. He was okay, but they did nothing to generate any holes for the running game. It just, they're a mess. Defensively, they look pretty good, though. But I don't know if that's the fact that their defense is good, New Orleans' offense is not any good, or a combination of the two. But I will say that fight lit a fire under Tampa Bay's ass.
Sometimes
they went out to just carry the game and beat them.
They've played 2 tough opponents, though, too, which I think is worth noting. I know you don't think much of Dallas. I think Dallas is a good team. Here's the other thing, too. I think the New Orleans Saints, they're not good offensively. I think they're miserable on the offensive side of the ball. But holy crap. I mean, defensively, I still think they're stout.
Brady today, just to say, he was dropping the ball in the bucket. Evans dropped one, went right through his arms. Perryman drops one right in his hands. Scotty Miller right in their hands. The tight end, Cade Otton, dropped, and Cameron Brate right in their hands. They just, you got to catch those balls. You can tell he's frustrated. Absolutely. The line isn't there yet. They got Akeem Hicks got hurt today in the game. They've had a lot of injuries for just 2 weeks. And if you think the schedule's tough now, the next 2 weeks, they got Green Bay and Kansas City.
Yep. They've got a tough schedule up front.
Particularly up front.
I forgot to mention this earlier. Look at what the Browns did at the 50-yard line. Do you see that? They put that freaking elf as the mascot, like that. We had forgotten to mention that.
We were talking about the elf last week.
They were going to do it, but this is the first time we actually saw it. What do you think of that?
Good. I'm glad. Good for them. Why not? What the hell? Better than just having the helmet out there.
Oh man, I freaking hate the helmet. They need to change it up. I've told you that before. Change up the freaking logo. Change it all up.
Okay, the team was formed by Paul Brown. He was the owner of the team. That's why they're called the Browns. They're not going to change their name. They're not going to change their helmets. Just not going to do it. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Just because of the
young people like me want to change.
Like I said, just because of the fickle whims of fuckos like you, sorry. Keep the team name. Keep the team the way it is. Keep their helmet the same. I'm glad they put Brownie the little elf in the center of the field.
Brownie the elf. Maybe they need to make Brownie the elf like jacked or make him something crazy.
I'm thinking about going out and get myself a hat with little Brownie the elf.
A Brownie the elf hat?
Why
to
not?
support the Browns? Yeah, there it is.
I love hats. I love logos. You know that.
Brownie the elf. Anyway, we're gonna get through a few comments, Grumpy, and then we got a fan fight. Now, here's the thing. I know Alexander had sent me a few ones. I didn't have a chance to watch Alexander's, and just because we did get that age restriction on one of them, we're only gonna show the one that I know for sure probably won't have an age restriction tag on it. I'm not gonna pop anything up that's our first time seeing anymore. So I'll have to look at them later afterwards. I want to make sure not age restricted. Drew L said, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Speaking, yeah, the Sting looked good." Frank said, "The Washington Commanders." What a stupid name! Oh my god, he does not like the name of the team. Yeah. Anyway, does not like the name of the team. Yeah, and again, like
it's dumb. It's dumb. They've been the Redskins forever. Who cares? The fans didn't care. Indians didn't care either.
Yeah, that's
only the social justice warriors give two shits about that.
Drew L said, "The Lions' weapons: T.J. Hawkinson, St. Brown, DJ Chark,
and don't forget DeAndre Swift."
And the Lions have weapons, Grumpy. Don't listen to TJ. St. Brown is great. I even drafted him last year with my final pick, and I had zero regrets.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Chark was ruined with a shitty college coach talking about Urban Meyer.
True. He was good last week.
Alexander said the Dolphins are beating Buffalo next week.
No. Where is the game? If the game's in Miami, okay, maybe they can keep it close. Otherwise, they're going to get steamrolled. Buffalo's the team this year. I don't think anybody's beating Buffalo. I think the only team keep up with them.
Could be in Miami.
I think the only team that keep up with them, two teams, Kansas City, San Diego. I don't see anybody from
no such team as San Diego anymore, Grumpy.
Whatever. I'm going to call them San Diego. I could care less. The Chargers and the Chiefs. I don't think anybody in the NFC can keep up with them. No one. Not even the great one. Not even the hero of the people in his squad.
Oh, stop. Frank says Tua's first half sucked. And Frank also said Zach Wilson, Bryce Hall, and Ahmed Sauce Gardner are the real deal, especially since Hall and Wilson.
Now, Amari Cooper caught a touchdown pass over Gardner today, but Gardner was glued to him. It was just a great play. A nice throw from Jacoby Brissett and a really nice catch, but Gardner was right there on the coverage.
Frank says TJ's yawning from his late nights of watching porn. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's it, Frank. You got me. You got me. Alexander said Herbert is a stat stuffer. Holy shit. Now, if that's not the freaking pot calling the kettle black, Herbert's a stat stuffer. Oh, my God. When Miami loses games like they were last year when they were down by big margins and two of them would go from 99 yards passing to like 250, that's the pure definition of stat stuffer. And here's the thing. If that game ended like it probably should have and Tua doesn't come back to win and they wind up losing the game, that's called stat stuffing performance by Tua. Just because he finally converted one of those games, does it get translates in the, oh, man, he's played a great game. And he did have a great game. But Herbert is not a stat stuffer, man. Come on. You know that.
Nope.
You know that. Championship Herbert has shit. I'm not sure what that means.
He means that he's got the shit. He's really good. Thanks, Alexander.
Okay. There it is. Herbert does have the shit. I like that. Frank says the Giants beat a crappy team. Absolutely. The Jets beat a really good team at home with nasty 1-2 running back and the running back tandem, best in the league, and a good defense. Big difference.
Yeah, but the Giants beat Tennessee last week, who had the best record in the AFC last year. I don't think Tennessee's as good this year. And I think you'll find out tomorrow night because when they play the Bills, let me tell you something. It's the Bills. The Bills are the team. Josh Allen is the freaking man. Josh Allen. Oh.
Grumpy was singing Josh Allen's praises before he became good.
Before he was drafted. I remember when they drafted him, I'm like, don't sleep on this kid. He's got a freaking cannon.
I think he still runs a little too much for my liking, but hey, do what you want, kid. All you're doing is hurting yourself. All he hears is Jets delusion, says Drew L.
Wow.
Alexander said this victory is right up there with the Miami Miracle. It was a great come from behind one. I don't know. The Miami Miracle was just because it was like all on one play. It's like, holy crap. It was like with App State with that freaking 53-yard Hail Mary to give them the touchdown to win against Troy. It's just like, holy crap.
I think the thing that made the Miami Miracle memorable is because it was against New England.
That too.
In a year that New England wound up winning the Super Bowl. Again. The Dolphins won a Super Bowl back, I think, 1973, the last time, right? Or 74. Long time ago.
Drew L said, you'll win more games if Salah kicks Michael Carter to the curb and lets Breece Hall run free.
Agreed.
Alexander says, yesterday was B-Day, boys. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Alexander. I hope the girls got you something nice. Hope your wife was nice to you. You know, we love you here.
He's got one girl and one son there, Grumpy. And Alexander
I'm sorry. You're right. Look at that. I'm sorry.
Grumpy's old. Grumpy forgets where Alexander is.
Here's the thing. Oh, yeah, gosh, look at that. No, because everything is small on this computer. Everything is small.
Maybe you're just getting old. Alexander also said the last time Miami came back from down 21 points was in 2005 versus Buffalo. That's a lot.
I will say if they go down 21 points to Buffalo next week, they ain't coming back. You can book that one.
Absolutely. Frank says, what the F, TJ? Stop trying to take away from the Jets. Amazing historical win. I can't tell if Frank's being sarcastic or not. But Frank, come on, man. Come on, Frank. It was a win and a solid win at that for the Jets.
That's a good comeback.
It is.
I'm on the record. I like Robert Saleh.
I didn't even think it was taken away from the Jets win. I was just saying on the onside kick, Cooper's got to freaking man up and fight for the ball.
Well, maybe Frank was saying that if you're not just saying it's all Jets.
He says the Jets wanted the ball more. Stop crying. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, that's true. But I'm expecting all the players in the NFL to want the ball. It looked like one guy on one team didn't want the ball at all. Didn't want anything to do with it.
The one who's coming right too. Like, hey, in Waterboy, you got the kicker. He's looking up now. He says, "There's my bitch." That's who he kicked it to, and they got the onside kick. That's what he said. Amari Cooper, there's my bitch.
Let's see here. We're getting to a few more. And Alexander saying thanks. Absolutely, Alexander. Andrew L says here, I never thought I'd make the mistake of starting Herbert over Tua. Yeah. It just happens, man. He's got good weapons to throw to, and we saw a lot of great production. I mean, especially I'll tell you one thing. That it's the Thursday games are tough though. Because teams always underperform. If you ever have fantasy, as I've told Grumpy this before, I've mentioned this on the show, never play players that are playing on Thursday.
Is that you?
No.
Yeah, that was you. That wasn't me.
No, it wasn't.
What the heck was that? No, music.
That was your house, Grumpy.
Oh, nothing went on in my house. I don't know what.
Bullshit. What do you got going? Okay, somebody's over there. I know somebody's over there. I can tell what you're doing with your eyes. Anyway, okay. 6 touchdowns, 449 yards. I'll just round up for 450. Whatever, that's fine. Alexander says, "What more can you ask for?" You can't. Consistency's big, and I'd say I don't need to see a 200-yard fourth quarter. I need to see, maybe it would be nice to be in the driver's seat because we played well and it's not like a team falls asleep and we have to come back from 21 points down to win in the fourth quarter.
So I should ask Alexander, who's been saying how great Miami's defense was. They gave up 35 points in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, I was about to say Miami's defense hadn't looked great the last 2 weeks, but okay. Drew L said,
no, they look good. They look good against New England's bad though.
New England's offense is bad because New England's offense played poorly against a battered Steelers defense.
But they had an interception in the end zone.
They had that pick 6 against Mac Jones.
No, it was a fumble pickup.
Fumble for 6, whatever it was.
I mean, yeah, let's not sell them short. I mean, New England's the offense is not very good.
They're bad. They're really bad. They have. You talk about a team with no weapons, no offensive line, no running back, and a quarterback. That's New England. It's about to be a lot of hard and long years for New England fans. You enjoyed the pinnacle and the peak. Get ready for the fall.
There you go.
Drew L says, TJ, ready to throw out all of his Saquon Barkley hate. Let's be real, TJ. Without Saquon chipping away at the Panthers defense and Daniel Jones making a couple of good plays, the Giants lose that game. Shit, man. Again, Barkley serves a purpose. He does. What are you in about, Grump?
You know, when you don't like somebody, you just can't see the forest for the trees.
I just think he's a guy where we talk about consistency. I'd rather have a healthy Christian McCaffrey or a healthy Dalvin Cook or a healthy Alvin Kamara than Barkley.
Okay, Alvin Kamara is probably finished for the most part.
I don't know.
He's how old?
He's 28.
Okay. Guess what?
How old's Alvin Kamara?
He was hurt a lot last year. He's been hurt this year. Injuries happen. They pile up. And when you're running, how many touches was Alvin Kamara having in previous years? 300 a year? 280?
He's 27, Alvin Kamara.
But those are hard years. He was getting the ball all the time, catching passes out of the backfield, running between tackles. It's not like he was taking a lot of punishment. Running backs don't last forever in the NFL. They just don't.
True. That's true. I'm just saying healthy. I'd have a healthy Dalvin Cook.
I'd like to have Jim Brown, healthy Jim Brown on my team back in when he was, his talent level in 1950s. And
I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor over Barkley every day of the week too.
Well, he didn't do shit today.
Okay. I think that freaking Colts team is miserable. They gave him the ball 9 times, 9 freaking rushes, 9 rushes. He had 54 yards carrying. I don't know what else you want. He's averaging about 6 yards a fucking carry, Grump. They just didn't give him the ball. It's like last year. James Robinson was averaging like 4.7 yards a rush, but they never would give him the ball in Jacksonville. Couldn't tell you why. They just didn't.
They want to win games.
That's what it was like for Indianapolis today. They said, we want to lose to the Jacksonville Jags. But I mean, Barkley is good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he's a big boom or bust type guy who's dependent on explosive plays to be successful, just like Reggie Bush was. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the caliber of player he is.
Okay.
Oh, stop. Are you trying to tell me you'd rather have Barkley over a healthy Dalvin Cook? Or a healthy
Dalvin Cook doesn't catch any passes out of the backfield.
Oh.
Dalvin Cook just runs between the tackles. That's what he does.
God.
And he's good at it.
A healthy Dalvin. You'd rather have a healthy Barkley over a healthy Christian McCaffrey?
I think if Saquon Barkley was in that Minnesota offense, he'd be taking off. He'd be one of the top backs in the league without a doubt. With those wide receiver threats, they have nobody to throw to on the Giants. Nobody.
They have weapons.
None that they play. Kadarius Toney he's third string.
Yeah. I tell you, he had that shit where stuff was going on this offseason with him. And
he's going to be.
I don't know if he's a locker room issue. Like he was doing the whole shit on his own where he was practicing on his own on the same field as the team. I'm like, what is that about? So I don't know with Kadarius Toney. He's a guy who's extremely talented. He's a very talented wide receiver. There's something different. There's something going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of, though. I firmly believe that because the talent should dictate he plays all the time.
Okay.
And Frank says, TJ, man, dude, you're broken again. JG is good. He went to the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, man.
I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. You can't say he's not good. And his teams win games in the regular season. They just do.
Rex Grossman was a really good QB, too.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Rex Grossman was a great QB. He went to the Super Bowl, Grump.
What was Rex Grossman's career winning percentage?
Rex Grossman went to the Super Bowl. What are you trying to say, Grumpy? All quarterbacks that go to the Super Bowl are good. You get the point.
He was on a team that had a really good defense in 1 year.
The 49ers have a really good defense and a fantastic running game. Thank you very much for answering my question.
Jimmy Garoppolo, the teams that he quarterbacks are really good every single year. He wins games in the regular season. He just does.
They have a really good running game and a fantastic defense. Jimmy Garoppolo has only quarterbacked one team ever in his career, and that's the 49ers. That's it.
Well,
He's been with the 49ers team that has a fantastic defense and a great running game.
He's done the job there. I'm not saying
he's not
great.
doing the job. It's the defense and the offensive line.
Well, guess what? He completes enough passes for them to win games week after week after week.
He's got great weapons and he sucks. I can't stand Jimmy G. Miserable. Garbage, Grumpy. Garbage. Jimmy G. Garbage. Alexander says, what's going to haunt Nick Chubb, was him running in the end zone instead of sliding.
I remember he did that when I had him on my fantasy team a couple of years ago. He slid down, and that cost me a championship. Thanks, Nick Chubb. I told him, don't ever do that again. Score the touchdown.
Score the touchdown. Frank said, Tua sucked in the first half. No, he sucked against New England. This is why I can't stand the Fins. This right here. You're always wrong. Talking about Fins fans, I guess. And Alexander, the Pirates and Mets bench is clear today. I saw there's no fight, though. It was just them getting out there, looking at each other and everything, because they hit Pete Alonso and then things settled down. But Grumpy is happy because somebody actually stuck up for Brady. Laughing. That's exactly right. He hated Mike Evans, and he comes to Tom Brady's defense. Poor old weak 45-year-old Tom Brady. And now he's like, I'm a huge Mike Evans fan.
I thought Fournette defended Brady. Lattimore hit him. Then I thought that Evans went after Lattimore for him hitting Fournette until I just saw this video now. Good for you, Mike Evans. Protect the hero of the people. We got to protect him.
Protect the hero of the people, Grumpy says. I tell you. Jarrell said, yep, Hall's still learning. Tell that to James Robinson when he was a rookie. And Hall's 110% ready to handle a full workload.
He had better. I mean, he had better numbers today rushing than Carter did. I mean, to me, you draft a kid like that, you run him into the ground, and then you get another guy.
That's how it is. I mean, that's how it is with running backs. They use and abuse them, and they're never worth the big contract you give them when their first contract expires.
Nope.
They never are. And some teams make those, some teams sign them, and they're just like, man, oh man, what a bad mistake. What a bad mistake.
True.
Let's get back here to a few more comments. Goon says, what did you find folks think about the film Black Phone? I thought the grabber was a stabber.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was for a modern film of today. I thought it was entertaining.
Can't tell you I watched it. I'm sure, Goon, this may come as a surprise to you, but I am not familiar with the movie.
I've seen a lot worse films than the Black Phone. Let me just put it to you that way.
Okay, fair enough. Alexander said Tua had a championship. Herbert has not. Okay. It's like every single Alabama quarterback. Like Bryce Young, I don't think necessarily he's going to be a great NFL QB, but he's got the best offensive line, the best running back, the best wide receivers, and the best defense in college football. It's really tough not to be a successful QB when you play in it. Like A.J. McCarron. I saw Alabama purdy up A.J. McCarron because the team
purdy him up. They purdied him up.
They purdied him up, Grump. But they prettied him up, Grumpy.
Purdied him up.
They purdy. They made him purdy. They made him purdy, Grumpy. Pretty. But when you play for a fantastic team, it's easy to look competent on the field. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a great QB. He's more of an athlete, more of a runner. I don't think much of Tua. I don't think much of Mac Jones, right? I thought, Mac, he's in great shape. He's going to do X, Y, and Z. He's a game manager. A lot of game manager quarterbacks coming out of Alabama. You notice that? A lot of QBs that won't lose you games, but certainly don't win you them.
Jalen Hurts was there too.
Yep. Alexander said, we went to see Bullet Train and got dinner.
I was wondering how that movie was.
Hopefully good. Drill said, most underrated player today is Damon Pierce. He finally established himself as the number one running back. Looks like Lovie Smith realized after week 1 that Rex Burkhead sucks. Yeah, I cannot believe Rex Burkhead's still around in the league, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, he's a solid backup.
Alexander said, but the defense came out when it mattered the most, stopping Lamar Jackson on 4th and 1 and forcing 3 and outs.
That's
bad play calling.
That's right.
Conservative bad play calling. It's that simple.
Yep.
And like you play not to lose, you play just we've got a 21-point lead, and you want to squandering it away because you change things up.
And they came down. They scored a field goal, and I think the Dolphins had 44 seconds left in the game, and they couldn't. They were gassed. To me, their whole defense was gassed at the end.
Goon says, TJ, what were some memorable songs you heard last week on your Friday radio listening spree? Shit. There was a song I actually sang to in the car. I cannot remember it though.
Is it Happy Birthday?
No, it wasn't Happy Birthday. It was an oldie song, Grumpy. You would have been proud. It was an older song. It was a song that's like from the 80s. You would have been proud of me, Grumpy. You've been rocking right along with me.
You don't even know what the song is. You don't even know when it was.
Honestly, it was. I'll be honest with you. It's not like it's a huge oh man. I do remember singing to a song, and I do remember it being an older song, but I cannot remember what the song was. Sorry.
Okay.
So Goon, I'll make sure I write all the songs I run across. I write it all. Oh, the Summer of '69.
Do you know who sang that song?
Couldn't tell you.
Bryan Adams.
69. Yeah, I was about to say that's a song that came on the radio. I'm like, huh. D-Cut says, TJ, check your DMs. D-Cut, I don't have a DM from you. Shoot it to the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man one. I also checked the Islanders one. I didn't see anything. Goon says, TJ and Grump, which popular song seems to follow you around like a bad fart? Mine is Sweet Child of Mine.
I don't know.
Grumpy does love the song Barracuda, though.
No, I cannot listen to Barracuda.
Why
Gives me a headache.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Every time it comes on, I get a headache. I don't know what it is. I cannot listen to that. And I like Heart. A lot of their stuff, Magic, all their stuff is good. Barracuda, I cannot listen to. Gives me a headache every single time. And that's a good song too, but whatever it is that
Barracuda.
That's what
You don't like it?
Gives me a headache.
Stop. You're just playing around, dude.
I'm not playing. It's been like that since when it came out.
Bullshit. You said you're at a concert and that's what screwed it up for you.
No, it's not what I said.
Under the influence, Grumpy Old Man.
No.
Oh, no. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We got here. Drew L says, a healthy Christian McCaffrey. When has Dalvin Cook ever finished a full season playing 16 to 17 games? Answer is never. Saquon has more talent than both CMC and Dalvin Cook when healthy. Holy shit.
I'm going to say he's more talented than Cook. Christian McCaffrey's really good. He's really good. I think they're both good backs. Saquon and CMC. Saquon's bigger than McCaffrey. I think they're both really good.
D-Cut sent us a voice message, Grumpy.
Andrew, you're next. Andrew, take yourself off mute. Sorry about that. Lou, first of all, how was your summer? The wife, obviously Chris, the whole family, the grandkids. I hope everyone is well. Couple of things. First of all, could you explain to the fans how you drove the price up on Goudreau and Kadri? Terrific move. And second, is it possible that you got two of the biggest steals this offseason in Romanov and Chalowski? Great offseason, Lou. Terrific. I'm looking forward again to another season with you as the GM and your once-a-year press conferences. Thank you.
Grumpy, I know you're unfamiliar. D-Cut, that's perfect. For those unfamiliar, obviously, D-Cut making reference to Andrew Gross talking to Lou Lamoriello. Grumpy, you're not aware. Lou Lamoriello came out and said that he did a job of driving up the price on certain players. That's what he was. It is so unbelievable, Grumpy. I cannot wait to share it with you. I hadn't shared it with Grumpy yet, and I'm going to wait to share the tweet. But, Grumpy, you're going to love it, man. You're going to freaking love it.
He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment.
It is an embarrassing tweet that is accurate. It's from Donald Rosner. It's accurate about what Lou Lamoriello had said. Donald Rosner, that the owner of Blue Line Deli or Blue Line Bagels. or the Blue Line Deli Bagels.
We have to save that audio clip for.
I'll have it. I didn't know. Okay, gotcha. I'll have that. I just didn't have a chance to look at it, but yes, I've got it. Alexander said, TJ, a healthy Barkley is very dangerous for NFL teams, and Barkley's a dual threat back.
True.
I'd take CMC. I take Dalvin Cook over Barkley too.
Not me. I'm telling you, if you put Barkley in that Minnesota offense, sky's the limit. They can really throw the ball.
Okay. Dalvin Cook is a guy with 1,100, 1,500 rushing yards and always over 300 yards receiving every single season. Okay. The guy is a freaking workhorse, girl. A workhorse.
He's hurt every year, too. He's hurt every year as well. Every year he misses games. Every single year.
D-Cut says that drunk jerk Irsay got what he deserves. He blamed Wentz for the Jacksonville loss last year, and 9 months later, Ryan put up a goose egg. Take it deep. I was about to say, I never understood the hate that Carson Wentz got. They lost a game. I think he's a guy who has a lot of those injury issues. He is a good game manager. He's much better than Matt Ryan. When I saw them making the move for Matt Ryan, I'm like, can they possibly revive another career after they revived the freaking fading career of Phillip Rivers and then the fading career of Carson Wentz? Can they revive Matt Ryan's? And the answer to that question is no.
Not yet. Not from what we've seen so far. Season's young yet,
Holy shit, are you having an anger? You're right, Grumpy. What the hell was that?
Just go to the next comment.
Alexander said, did you guys know that Herbert has 4 fourth quarter pick sixes since entering the NFL? That's the most in a single quarter. Marino had 4 his entire career.
No, I did not know that.
I did see that. Emmanuel Acho had made a post about that. He's like, we can't just go ahead and ignore this. It's something we got to take into account. I'm like, okay, buddy. I see.
Tight end so out of gas he could not drive back on the ball is why that kid was able to jump the route, period.
Yeah. Brett Favre also used to lead. I think he still does, but he led the NFL in interceptions. We got to go ahead and take that into account when we're thinking about Brett Favre. He was a gunslinger. The guy was a freaking... He was one of those first of those gunslinger type of QBs.
Tom Brady doesn't like pressure on his fence. We got pressure on his face. We have to take that into account.
Yeah. Also Grumpy, off topic from football. The Yankees seem to be winning again for once. They're like 7-3 in their last 10, something like that. And did you see Aaron Judge, Grumpy, 59 home runs, 2 away from tying the record from Roger Maris, 3 away from setting that record.
Yeah. I'd rather have the clean record of Roger Maris.
You want Aaron Judge to break that still?
Nope.
Not even a little bit?
No. I still won't recognize it because Roger Maris is clean.
Oh, bullshit. Aaron Judge is clean, bro. Come on.
No, he's not. No,
yes, he is.
Nope.
You'll be interested to see this, Grumpy. It's the first time since September 27th of 2009 that all 4, the Mets, Yankees, Jets, and Giants all won on the same day.
Makes sense. Think about how bad the Jets have been for how many years? The Mets. Ugh.
Yep.
The
Giants.
The Giants, yeah. Well, the Giants were good. They won 2 Super Bowls in that time frame.
From 2012, 2013 on, they've been a bad team.
Yeah, that's true.
But I saw that stat and I was like, Grumpy, I feel like
they won a Super Bowl in 2011.
Yeah, no, 2011 was the last time they won a Super Bowl. Right? 2011?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like they were bad in 2012.
2013 on. They won in 2008 and 2011. Or 2012. I'm sorry. It was a 2012, but it was for the 2011-2012 season.
Yeah.
But we got here. Goon says, TJ, how was the zoo visit on Friday night? Did you swim with the stingrays, feed the squirrels, and pet capybaras? It was like a evening out at the zoo. So you got to go pet all the animals and stuff like that. So you got to pet little porcupines. You got to. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't pet the porcupines, but those sons of guns are like sit there. I'm like, you got to see them all up close and personal. It was kind of cool. You get the little armadillo. You got to see like they had like little penguins and everything like that. And you go in there, you pay for a little ticket, and they give you free alcohol too, which was a good time. It was a good time. It was a good time, Grumpy.
Drunken viewers.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. It was like all local places too, so they were wanting to get their names out. Yeah.
Would you say that was more enjoyable, not because of the drinking, but was it more enjoyable to see the animals at night as opposed to during the day?
No, they had a lot of the zoo closed off. It was only like certain ones you could see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was good though. I mean, like it wasn't expensive. It was like $30 or something. It was good for me. The lovely Paige Grump Alexander says it was really good. Grump, you'd like it. Talking about Bullet Train.
Bullet Train. Yeah, I know Brad Pitt's in that, and looks like it might be entertaining.
I didn't know that. And Drew L says here, Frank. Frank was saying stop smoking crack. Tua is not near Herbert. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, here's the thing. I think Herbert is a really, really talented QB. He's top 10 in the NFL, no doubt in my mind. I know that the fourth quarter pick sixes, that's quite a bit. It still doesn't bother me too much. Drew L said, honestly, though, Buffalo should have traded up to get Breece Hall. That's literally the only thing they're missing. But instead, they drafted James Cook. In 3 years in a row, they've drafted different running backs. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, and you've got here, you got James Cook this year. All guys that are early or mid-round picks. They just do not have a legitimate running back. If you had a legit running back, you could save the freaking life of Josh Allen and not run him as much and save his freaking legs. But they just freaking use and abuse him.
They still don't have a running back. Still.
Here we go. Gungun says, patient father and confident son. Last time I checked, some of my favorite films. What are your guys's?
Go ahead, TJ. Name one of your favorite films.
Okay, I like Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu freaking Panda.
I like Kung Fu Panda. That's one of my favorite films.
My favorite film is The Godfather.
I know. I'm not going to take your film, but Kung Fu Panda.
Okay. Name another one. Do you have another film? Oh, my God.
I don't know. My favorite film, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh,
You've got it. You've got it, Grumpy.
How
the cinematic masterpiece of Kung Fu Panda.
Ay.
Oh my God! And Frank saying, "Gungun, you got the greatest name on here, and ask great questions and statements. You need a showman," says Frank. And Drew L says, "Honestly, why does the voice message sound like if Herbert, the pervert from Family Guy, went through puberty?"
Oh my God!
Man. Alexander says D-Cut is a genius and Lou has officially lost it. I guess I'll show you after the show, Grumpy. I'll show you the tweet that was put out. Man, it's bad. It's gonna make for Wednesday's podcast all by itself. Frank said maybe Barracuda has some subliminal messaging, which gives Grumpy Old Man a headache. Or is it the Andersley goal song? LOL.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just does though.
Oh, shit. That's right. I forgot. Gunda said they get a chance to read Brett Farce's controversial text messages. No. Damn it, Grumpy. Did you?
No. You know I don't have text messages. It was on Twitter.
What, Goon? The dick pics he sent? Oh, no. What's up, Chair Bear? How are you? D-Cut says comparing Tua to Herbert is like comparing Rosie O'Donnell to Megan Fox. Oh goodness, that's true. Frank says, no, listen to your dad, TJ. He said Lou himself is embarrassing, not the tweet. Big difference. Lou is embarrassing. And Wentz is a good quarterback. Drew L also saying, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there was a pretty decent amount of wide receiver injuries today, but I know the only other notable one of the Bucs wide receivers was Jerry Jeudy.
Judy.
Alexander says, you got to show Grumpy the picture I sent you, TJ. Let me check here that. And he said, TJ, you really need to stop living under a rock. I know. Not only did they draft Cook, but he's a freaking third string running back. Yeah, a waste of a pick.
He's a pass catcher. Out of the backfield. He's not a guy who's going to run between tackles. That's what I guess they have Singletary and Moss for. But, Moss catches a lot of third down passes as well. I didn't understand that pick.
Grumpy, do you understand this reference? It's a SpongeBob one. So here's the thing. Grumpy's old like that. He doesn't understand these type of references. But it was he got plastic surgery, Squidward, and every time he got hit in the face, he got more and more attractive looking. This is the final form. So it's Brady when he enters the league, kind of little, kind of looking a little young. And the older he's gotten, he's aged well. I don't think he looks good in this picture. I think he looks like he's like he just went on like a bender.
He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. That's what it is. He's lost weight. His face was fat when he came in. Then he learned how to eat with help from Guerrero. And this season, I think it's from that harpy. It's just, stress affects people in different ways. I bet she's not even 200 pounds anymore.
Really? You think he's that light?
He's gaunt. He is so thin.
I'm going to pop you up a little something on the screen here, Grumpy, before we get to the fan fight segment of today, because it's going to be a good one. I want to show you this. Jacob deGrom, he is the first pitcher ever to have 40 straight starts with 3 earned runs or less, and that is an MLB record since they started tracking earned runs, and it became official, Grumpy, in 1913.
Okay.
Sounds like a Hall of Fame caliber player, doesn't it?
He only pitched 5 innings today. So
sounds like a Hall of Fame caliber player, does it not, Grump?
Didn't get a win. Didn't get a quality start. Had 13 strikeouts, though.
Sounds a little bit like a Hall of Fame caliber player, wouldn't you say, Grumpy?
Who do you think he'll be playing for next year? Can't you see the Yankees trying to swipe him away?
I hope he's playing for the Mets.
Don't know that he can pitch in New York.
Don't let him.
That's the type of guy, honestly, if George Steinbrenner was still alive, they go after him hard. Matter of fact, they would get him.
And Frank saying, "Oh my God, are you guys watching this game?" No, I am not. We're not watching the game right now. Gungun says, "Was the Ginsu knife really any sharper than your average cutting knife?" Ooh, that is a good question.
Yes.
Had the serrated blades on it, a little serrated edge on it, right, Grumpy?
They're
we
sharp.
used to have Ginsu knives growing up. Were they really sharp knives?
I still have Ginsu knives.
I've got, I don't know what type of knives I've got. Man, they're sharp as shit. I cut myself sometimes with them, man. They're sharp knives. I don't have Ginsu knives, but I think they're sharp.
Who cuts themselves with a freaking knife?
Sometimes when you're cutting, you cut it, you cut yourself. It just happens.
How do you okay, let me ask you a question. Do you take the piece of meat, stick a fork in it, and then cut?
No, like when
you put your hands on the meat and just slice it.
When I'm prepping food, like that's when I'll cut myself. When I'm trying to cut
prep food
all the time.
Oh my God!
I told you, I'd like with these scissors. The scissors are the same thing. I got to a point to where I was cutting like flowers because I bought Paige, the lovely Paige, some flowers, and I cut my skin. It just started bleeding like that crazy. I'm telling you,
what an imbecile.
D-Cut says he pitches 5 innings a start, talking about Jacob deGrom, Hall of Famer. D-Cut, Jacob deGrom, Hall of Fame caliber pitcher. And Drew L said the Yankees seriously need a closer though. Come this offseason. Well, who the hell is that guy who was playing well for him this year?
Clay Holmes. He's up and down. He's up and down.
He's young though, isn't he?
He's more, to me, he's more of a setup guy. I mean, he was successful, but relievers are tough. They don't have just a guy. They just like Rivera. Everyone compares whoever they got now to Mo Rivera.
Mariano Rivera was the best closer in the history of baseball. So
right up
yeah,
there, anyway.
I'd imagine. Drew L said the Yankee. I'm sorry, and he said also now that Montas pitches like garbage, now he has an injury. I think that's suspicious. Yeah, I did see that.
I don't think he's going to work out there.
Absolutely not. Now we do have a little fan fight. Now this is one I think we got a lot to digest with, and it's a fun one, dude. I love the NFL fan fights because all the fans are all drunk.
Can we just watch it the whole way through and not comment at all? It's only 30 seconds.
I'll try my best, Grumpy. I'll let you watch it the whole way through, and then we'll comment on it. Okay. So to set the scene, we've got 2 individuals, and this is a good thing, right? You got Raiders fans and Chargers fans fighting against each other.
Combustible mix.
It is. Oh shit! You know what we forgot to talk about? We forgot to talk really quickly about the Raiders today losing. Are you worried at all about the Raiders? They get off to a slow start like that. They lost to the Cardinals today in overtime. Are you worried if you're a Raiders fan?
Another game where they totally dominated a team. Now, here's the thing. The Chargers beat them last week. They had that game in the bag, and they just wound up losing it. I don't understand it. They were on their way to winning, and then Renfro takes 2 straight shots hard. He fumbles twice on what wound up being the game-winning fumble recovery. He fumbled twice on that drive, but they were in field goal range. And he got lit up. I mean, could have been a penalty with some of the ridiculous things they say at penalties nowadays. They could have called one on Simmons for shoulder to the head or whatever.
Devontae Adams had a quiet game, man. He was invisible. 2 catches, 12 yards, and a touchdown.
Not good.
You expect more of the guy like that.
Yeah.
That's for certain. You really do. And, I mean, the last game I don't think we talked about here, Cowboys and Bengals were briefly mentioned. The Cowboys win with Rush as a quarterback. Shit, man. The Bengals are struggling out of the gate. Joe Burrow looks like he's struggling out of the gate.
Super Bowl hangover. It happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for those Bengal fans. They've been bad for so many years. Have that huge jump up and right back to shit. But let's watch this, a little fight here. So to paint the picture, Chargers fan, Raiders fan, and you see a member of the security team is already there. So let's see what transpires.
What in the? I bet that Charger fan has sticky torches in his trunk, and we don't.
What goes in that? Hands of glasses. Jesus H, man. Oof. Oh my God. The security guards are filming the shit. Are you? So, like, there's so much to break down on this one, Grumpy. So we've got one security guard that's already like, dude, calm down. No need to get into a fight into it.
I like this guy throws his hat at him to distract him from what's going on.
He throws it like a towel. Whoop.
Oh, and he gets distracted.
At him. And you like how he's got his hands up. But Mr. Chargers over here, again, Mr. Chargers.
Is he wearing shoes? This guy has wearing
flip-flops. Here's the thing. If you're going to get into a fan fight, do not wear flip-flops, ladies and gentlemen. You must wear shoes. There's a few things right off the bat. We've got another criminal offender of filming in portrait mode and not landscape mode. Holy shit. How many more times do we have to put out the PSA, flip the camera to the side, and get in the landscape mode? But yes, he does go ahead and do the little surprise. I'm going to throw the towel to try to throw you off.
Kind of a cheap move. The other
guy
hands
the glasses off.
See, no, hold on. There's his buddy trying to say, "Hey, don't fight." Well,
no. He's handing him his glasses. If he's handing him his glasses, he had glasses on. He said, "I got to take the glasses off because shit's about to get real."
Yeah. While he's over there handing the glasses off, this guy's closing in.
That's fine.
Get your hands up, jackass!
Boom! He ate that one to the face, buddy.
Why is his hands not up?
He is telegraphing this one too. My God, he's stepping into it.
Here's the thing. It's the wussification of America.
Boom.
The wussification of America is why this guy got knocked down today. Because if his father ever taught him anything, you get your freaking hands up. Why are your hands down at your side, stupid bastard? Get your hands up.
Can we talk about this, about the Raiders, dude? Mr. Raiders has been in a fight or two. Raiders Nation came in with a freaking attack plan. He hits him. He connects right with the chin. That or he's watched some UFC. He sees Allen going down. He says, I'm going to go ahead and turn that punch into a freaking tackle, and I'm going to hit you with some ground and pound, Grumpy.
Little takedown. Look at that. He took him down.
He takes him down.
Even with his pants hanging down around his knees.
I'm telling you, he starts to hit him with
this guy's not wearing freaking shoes. He's
wearing flip-flops.
What a pussy. Deserves to get beat up.
He's wearing flip-flops, and he's just starting to pound the hell out of him.
See, this guy should have just locked his legs, scoop him, take him down. He has a position. He's got the position down low. Lock those legs and drive on him. That guy's going down.
Here's the thing. This guy's not in the best cardiovascular shape, Grumpy. If he was a little bit more nimble and able to move a little bit better on the ground, he probably would have, but he's just not in good enough shape. Look at this Raiders fan right in front here. He's like, yeah! He's like cheering on Raiders Nation. Look at this guy. Look at this right here, Grumpy. He's over there. Yeah, baby.
He's not absorbing any punishment there.
Get him. Josh Jacobs is rooting for him, baby.
See, first of all, look at this guy. Why is he not holding him with both? He's only got one leg. You got to get both legs, wrap him, and drive.
Oof.
Take his ass right down.
Oof.
Maybe crack his head on the cement.
Oof. He starts kicking him.
Yeah, that's too far with the kicking.
Oh, this guy's like, man, no need for this. No need for this. He starts looking. Look at this Look at this person. This person right here needs to be fired. This is a member of staff security, event security, has their fucking camera out videotaping the fight. Are you shitting me? You're supposed to be there at least trying to back everybody up to prevent third man in or starting to calm the fight down. This motherfucker's just like, yeah, this is cool, baby. World star. Let me go ahead and record the fight. What is that person doing there? Remember, there's occasionally a few of these security guards who step up and they earn the stripes. They earn the yellow and black they wear on their vest. This person didn't do that today.
They get paid $10 a game.
No, they get paid more than $10 a game.
Yeah, look at this guy. Come on.
World star. They're recording, not getting mixing up at all.
Now you got some
Here's
other
the thing.
Chargers.
Now the other Chargers fan came in. He's like, okay, my friend just took an ass whoop and I'm ready to come in. Now the guy's starting to back up a bit.
Yeah.
And here we go. Now he's going to start going crazy as he got the other security guard. Look at this security guard right here. What the hell is that security guard doing? They need to be canned. Whoever that guy is, guy or gal from CSC, event staff, gone.
Yeah, those guys they're game day employees. They don't get paid a whole lot of money.
Oh, shit, he's going back in. Raiders Nation's want another piece of him there at the end. I'll tell you one thing. The Chargers fans love to fight. Raiders fans love to fight. Damn, Rams fans love to fight. Certain fans love to fight, Grumpy. The Bears fans, I feel like, love to fight. Then so do those fans in Florida, man. They
drunken fans usually like to fight.
Oh, baby. Drunk fans all over the place love to fight. But at least the ones where we catch videos of. Yeah. A lot of Rams, a lot of Chargers, a lot of Raiders fans, some tough sons of guns out there, Grumpy. I just could not get over this freaking person videotaping the fight who's working as a security or as like an event staff member.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
I mean, like, not a good look at all. I mean, like, that's the best way to put it. Not a good look at all. Let's see what the comments say on this one. Okay. Frank saying, I'm focusing on the Jets, Drew, and the Yankees stress me out. But you're spot on. Did you hear that Montas has been pitching hurt? Yeah, and which makes me glad. I thought he was going to be a bust almost. You think he's going to be a bust though, Grumpy? You're just going to be injured? I
don't know if it takes a certain type of person to pitch in New York. Just does. Is he one of those guys? Don't know.
Is he a Carl Capano, or is he a guy like a Kurt Schilling? Or I'm sorry, is he a guy like a Roger Clemens?
Like I said, we haven't seen enough, but he's been underwhelming. I don't know why. I tell you what, they failed at the deadline as far as I'm concerned, the Yankees.
D-Cut says the best bet every season is taking Green Bay to cover when they're playing the Bears.
True.
And that was a touchdown for the Bears. Josh McDaniels is a trash head coach.
I disagree.
Grumpy, let me ask you this. If he fails with the Raiders, would you not say that he's not suited to be a real head coach or an NFL head coach?
He's coached 2 games.
And he's 0-2.
You know what you're not going to hear from me? Man, he's going to be a special head coach, 0-2. Maybe if he goes 0-3, special head coach.
Hold on, 0-1. It's different than 0-2. I know because you're trying to talk shit about Marcus Freeman, Grumpy, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm not even a Notre Dame fan, but still. Drew L said, by the way, Yankees can flip the switch, and if they just do one thing in the batter's box, aim towards the opposite side of the field. I wonder why it took them so long to figure it out, but whatever.
It helped. Here's the thing. When they play against guys who can pitch, they struggle. Good pitching staff is going to beat them, period.
D-Cut says, millennials. Oh, man. Gungun says, TJ and Grump, did either one of you guys ever get involved in a brouhaha at a sporting event yourselves? I have not. I'd run away. I'm a pussy. That's what Gungun says.
No.
I've never gotten into a fight at a sporting event.
No.
I've never been intoxicated enough to get into a fight at a
I'm a peacemaker.
Are you really, Grumpy? You're a peacemaker.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't say I ever have. D-Cut says $15 an hour security guards aren't breaking up fights, DJ. I wish they would. Man.
Why?
Because they're supposed to be, I think, right? The yellow uniforms are there. They're supposed to maintain.
That's their whole extent of their power is they wear a yellow shirt or a yellow jacket or a yellow pullover. That's it. There's nothing special about them. They're not going to sacrifice their lives because they get paid $15 an hour on game day. On game day. It's not like they got a regular gig there. It's a game day thing. Yeah, you just go, hey, how do I get a job doing that? Oh, yeah, you got to know somebody. Oh, yeah, don't worry, I'll get you in there. Well, what do I have to do? Just tell people to move along. Hey, stop that. Move along. Move along.
This is where you sit. This is where you sit. This is how you exit out of the stadium. That's pretty much it.
That's all they do.
The bathroom is, stuff like that.
Yep, that's it.
And occasionally break up a fan fight. Yeah, that's what they need to throw in as a caveat at the end. Drill said, I swear, Aaron Rodgers, even despite killing the Bears, just looks like he hates his life. I can't stand this bastard. Also, TJ, did you know he also trashed his receivers again on the Pat McAfee podcast? No, I didn't know that. I didn't listen to it. No, oh God. They did drop some easy catches. Watson last week dropped that ball right in his hands as he was walking in for a touchdown. Should have had that. I understand. D-Cut also said, every person is recording in portrait mode. Idiot millennials. Because they're all recording in like Snapchat and shit like that. I'm like, man, just pull out a video. Ugh. At the rolls, TJ, maybe he was recording for legal purposes. I mean, everybody records now. Anytime there's anything that happens, people go, da-da-da-da. I mean, like, I want to say, like, if you're not involved in a fight, I want to say like 60 to 70% of the people around pull out the cameras. Maybe 10% try to break the fight up, and everybody else is just watching in amazement, like, holy crap, what's going on here? Alexander said, oh my God, that guy threw a freaking hat at him. Alexander, I know you sent another one. I'm not going to show it until I have a chance to view it because I don't want the video to get age restricted. Yeah, so
we have a lot of youngsters who watch this show.
I know, apparently. Well, you don't like it being age restricted. That means, like, unless you're signed into YouTube, people can't see the video to verify their age. But man, Grump, we covered a lot today. Covered a lot around the NFL. And what do you want to say before we wrap things up?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. We appreciate it, as always. We'll be back this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. And also, if you're a returning viewer, maybe leave a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and it helps gets out the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast to other individuals, like-minded individuals just like yourself. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching.
And I just want to say one other thing. I just hope that Alexander enjoys this week. It's probably going to be his happiest week ever in his whole life of being a Dolphins fan.
Oh, no, Grumpy. No. And Alexander said, sorry, TJ, had no idea. Oh, no. We had determined that just recently. It was just like, I don't know how the hell we got age restricted on a fan fight video, but whatever. Gungun says, don't Rangers fans enjoy fighting, Grump?
Maybe.
I'd say. Yeah,
the blue seats.
Philly fans, man. Philly fans love to fight. Holy shit. Doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter if they're Philadelphia Phillies. Doesn't matter if they're Philadelphia Eagle fans. Anybody who's in Philly loves to fight. They love to get involved in the fan fights. I left them off the list. Philly fans love to fight. Not Philadelphia Phillies, but anybody from Philadelphia loves to fight. Just something to put in the water, I guess, over there, Grumpy.
Yeah, that's right.
D-Cut says, see you guys Wednesday, and save that audio, TJ. Does it automatically save, D-Cut? I think it should automatically save, but we'll see you guys Wednesday, and thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you guys Wednesday, Islanders Never Say Die podcast, and then Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Thanks again, Grumpy, for the time tonight.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good night.